Out of the level 2 talents, there are 3 talents still awaiting activation. Abyssal Devouring, Hell Thunderflame, and Medium Anti-Magic. Medium Anti-Magic is exactly what it says on the tin. It's basically just the stronger version of Beginner Anti-Magic. If he activates this skill, then Xiangnu will gain a greater ability to nullify magic. As for Abyssal Devouring and Hell Thunderflame, the former is an absorption-type skill. It can be used to cancel out enemy attacks or used as a means for defense and recovery. The latter is a super powerful damage ability. It can combine the powers of Abyssal Dragon Flame and Abyssal Thunder into an even more terrifyingly powerful Hell Thunder Flame. It's more than enough to raise his attack power to another level. In Xiangnu's opinions though, at his current level, his offensive and defensive abilities should be enough. What he instead needs is more diversity in his fighting capabilities. Thus, he'll be putting aside the Thunder Flame and anti-magic for the time being. You've activated the talent skill, Abyssal Devouring. Abyssal Devouring. Talent skill. Costs at least 50 MP. Can forcefully dispel and even devour magical energy within a certain range or drain MP from a target within range to recover the user's HP and MP. Cooldown time of 5 minutes between each use of skill. One of the strongest powers of the Abyssal Dragon is their devouring and absorption abilities. This skill's effects are quite powerful. It can be used to great effect in actual battle, and it also greatly increases Xiangnu's survivability. Putting the hero's souls aside, the greatest reward he got from this excursion should be the leveling scroll. If one was to ask which structure is the most important within a territory, then the answer would definitely be the Demon King Castle. It can increase the territory's productivity, the power of the Demon King's forces, and the strength of the Demon King himself. Leveling up the Demon King Castle would actually be a pretty good choice. However, that isn't possible. The Demon King Castle is classified as a core structure of the territory, but this leveling scroll can only be used on normal structures. Thus, Xiangnu started considering which structure to use it on. The House of Skeletons was disqualified first. It's a level 2 undead structure that has already been leveled up once before. As for the Tower of Fog, the Minotaur Camp, or the Dark Prison, Xiangnu believes there isn't much value in leveling those structures right now. The only thing really worth leveling should be the Goblin Farms, or, more accurately, the Spirit Fields. Under normal common sense, the Spirit Fields shouldn't be considered a structure. However, based on the game's settings, it is considered one of the territory's structures. In that case then, the leveling scroll should be effective on it, so Xiangnu immediately gave it a try. Spirit Fields can be leveled. Leveling cost: normal structure leveling scroll x1, life gem x10, earth gem x10, wood x500, stone x500, gold x5000. That's great. It really can be leveled up. The materials required for leveling it are quite expensive, but Xiangnu had faith that its worth will be proportional to the costs. He immediately started collecting the materials. The other items weren't hard to get, but the real difficulty is the gems required. Right now, he didn't have a single gem left. Then Xiangnu remembered that he knew a gem merchant. He had bought 2 types of gems from that person previously after all. Xiangnu, there? Bloody Giant Wangshi, hey bro, what's up? Xiangnu got right to business, 10 life gems, 10 earth gems. Can you get them? Bloody Giant Wangshi, holy shit. That many? Bro, what do you need all those for? Earth gems are one thing, but life gems are going to be a bit difficult. Xiangnu was direct, following the price from last time, 1,000 gold per life gem and 500 gold per earth gem. How about it? Bloody Giant Wangshi, give me 3 days. 3 days. That's way too long. Xiangnu thought for a bit. If you can get it ahead of time, then I'll pay an additional 1,000 gold for every day in advance. Bloody Giant Wangshi, alright then. You've got a deal. I'll do my best. Money can solve all kinds of problems. Bloody Giant Wangshi had gathered up all the gems within just 20 or so hours. Xiangnu was quite curious as to the area that the Bloody Giant was in. Just what kind of place is it for him to be able to get that many gems? Of course, Xiangnu had no real interest or ability to ask about other people's secrets. Every powerful demon king has their own ways. Xiangnu readily paid 17,000 gold. 15,000 of the gold was the price for buying the gems, and the remaining 2,000 gold was the tip for the 2 days early delivery. After getting the gems, his laborers had also already prepared all the other materials as well. Level up successful. Your level 1 spirit fields have leveled up to level 2 spirit field. Spirit field growth speed plus 30%. Spirit field size plus 50%. The goblin farms had been successfully leveled up. The farms have now gotten even larger, and the plants within it now grow even faster. It's more than enough to multiply the profits for the territory. The only downside is that it also greatly increased the demand for farm labor by several times as well. 2 days later, the first group of his new farmers had arrived. The goblin chief led a long line of his tribes. Several thousand goblins were carrying various bags and packages filled with their various properties of little worth. After traveling hundreds of kilometers through the forest, they had finally arrived at the Darkness Valley. The goblin chief was shocked at what was before him though. This is an enormous span of spirit fields spread out before him. Hundreds of goblins were laboring while wearing straw hats. Nearby, the strong-looking draconian soldiers were patrolling around to act as security for them. Not far from them, Minotaur priests were busy casting recovery magic while draconian laborers were transporting wood and stone in preparations for building housing for the goblins. This small farm gave off the appearance of a small town thanks to the huge increase in population. The goblins there were happily eating, drinking, and being merry. With the Demon King covering them from above and the draconian soldiers keeping guard, they didn't need to worry about their safety at all anymore. Other than the fact that the farming work is a bit tiring, this is basically a goblin paradise. The goblin chief was utterly shocked. He had never imagined that he would be able to ever live a life like this. Demon King Castle. Zhang Nu received the reports of the 3,000 goblins having moved on to the farms. They'll be able to start contributing to the work soon. As the farms were being quickly expanded, they'll start bringing in many times the profit they once had. Of course, as the farms are expanded, they also require more management and protective forces as well. The several thousand goblins will all need daily necessities as well. Beyond that, their housing, farm tools, and various other equipment and designs will also have to catch up to their numbers as well, so they'll also need to construct a goblin town to simplify management. It wasn't just the goblin town either. The population of his territory was rapidly increasing. This expansion of his faction will also correspondingly bring with it a number of issues in terms of governance. Zhang Nu planned to construct a city around the Demon King Castle. Thus, he also needs to summon more draconian laborers to complete this work. The ambush in the Black Forest earned him over 30,000 gold last time. The Goblin Tribe conquest this time earned him over 10,000 gold. Add in his territory's normal daily income, his current treasury has reached around 100,000 gold or so. That's by no means a small number. Zhang Nu planned it out. First, he spent 22,500 gold to summon 1,500 laborers, then promoting 500 of them into high laborers. The normal laborers will be responsible for quarrying stone, cutting wood, transporting materials, and the construction of basic structures. The high laborers will be crafting various tools and equipment. Then he spent 20,000 more gold for 200 more draconian soldiers. Zhang Nu needed to expand his draconian army. In the near future, he planned to expand the draconian army to 1,000 in total and also increase the number of high-ranking soldiers among them to up to 100. Actually, after this round of summonings, his racial unit population has finally reached 3,069. Of them, there were 1,815 draconian laborers, 700 high laborers, 480 draconian soldiers, 50 draconian high soldiers, and 15 draconian battle mages. T/N, that math doesn't check out. Where'd the 9 extra come from? The total number has finally broken 3,000. What did that mean exactly? It means that the requirement for summoning a draconian priest has been reached. The draconian priest is a new lord-level unit. Although it's extremely costly in terms of price, it's definitely worth the price to summon. Zhang Nu can be said to have waited for this moment for a long while now, so after he satisfied the conditions, he immediately went ahead with the summoning. Suddenly, the Demon King altar shook. An unusually powerful force descended. This presence was unusually strong, stronger than any other existence that Zhang Nu has seen before, above even that of the draconian general Zhang San. Following a flash of light, a figure descended before the altar. By draconian standards, the figure in question wasn't particularly tall. He's about 2.5 meters, dressed in a simple brown robe, wearing a mask on his face, and holding a wooden staff. He looked very ordinary in terms of just appearance, not having anywhere near the amount of presence that the draconian general did. Even so, Zhang Nu knew that the Draconian Priest is not to be underestimated. He checked the details on the Draconian Priest. Draconian Priest. Level 2 Lord Unit. 300 HP, 500 MP, 20 Strength, 30 Constitution, 30 Agility, 60 Will. Loyalty 100%, locked. Tiredness 10%. Hunger 10%. Skills, Winged Drake Form, Talent, Teleportation Field, C rank, Healing Field, C rank, Death Field, C rank, Weakening Field, C rank, All-Knowing Eye, D rank, Thunderfall Curse, D rank, Flame Explosion Curse, D rank. Description: This is a Draconian Priest bearing the blood of the Abyssal Winged Drake. He has exceptional intellect and strategic skills. He's capable of various healing, support, attack, scouting, and support spells. Utterly loyal to his lord. That's way too amazing. The Draconian Priest might not be as strong as the Draconian General on the combat side, but the Draconian Priest isn't a combat specialized unit in the first place. It can be seen from the skills and their ranks, but the Draconian Priest is far more powerful than the Draconian General. Beyond that, a Draconian Priest is highly intelligent and very skilled in terms of governance and strategy, so they also have hidden worth as advisors. As expected of a unit costing 30,000 gold. The Draconian Priest stepped forward and respectfully knelt down. This old one greets my lord. Zhang Nu nodded. Rise. From today on, you'll be known as Li Si. You'll be aiding me in the management of the territory. The Draconian Priest Li Si stood up. It is this old one's honor. I shall put forth my greatest efforts and with my utmost loyalty. I will absolutely not betray the grace that my lord has shown. The Draconian Priest and Draconian General are both high-grade Draconians. In fact, they are real Abyssal Draconians. The Draconian General has the ability to transform into an Abyssal Earth Drake and the Draconian Priest has the ability to transform into an Abyssal Winged Drake. The latter's bloodline is a bit stronger though. Compared to the Earth Drake, the Winged Drake doesn't have a very strong body. Although their defenses are weaker, their mobility and magic abilities are far stronger. The Draconian Priest's skills are quite specialized. Several of their core skills are all field types. The special point is that the skill effect is distributed over time, so the priest will be extremely vulnerable before they get those skills off. In other words, a Draconian Priest would be no match for a Draconian General in close combat. That said, each and every one of those field skills are also extremely potent. This is especially true on the battlefield. Their area of effect is extremely large, and they have very powerful effects on a larger scale. Something especially worth mentioning is the Draconian Priest's teleport field. This skill can create two fields in different locations, and then enact the instantaneous transportation of units between those two fields. Its worth in the strategic sense cannot be understated. When paired up with the Draconian General, one has tactical leadership skills, with a specialization in acting as the vanguard, while the other has numerous field effects, specializing in support. The final result is that, together, they produced a far greater effect than the sum of their parts. Zhang Nu was already quite strong, but now that he has Zhang San and Li Si acting as his hands, the result is like adding wings to a tiger. His Demon King enterprise has been developing for a month now. The preparations made during the early period have been completed. He is now ready and able, so Zhang Nu believes it is now time to start making war strategies. At this moment, a transmission bat flew before him and spoke out in Su Yan's voice. She was reporting the current progress of her work. Boss, everything is going smoothly so far. I've almost reached Jiantree City. Then, I'll do my best to scout out the enemy for you. Zhang Nu smiled at the report. This spy seemed to be quite successful so far. Here's hoping that she really will be able to show her worth and bring him useful information. Su Yan reached her destination with no real danger. Jiantree City's name came from the nearby Jiantree Forest. That forest is simply far too noticeable. Hundreds of enormous trees stood at an average height of around 500 meters tall. Each and every one was practically a skyscraper in and of themselves. The few especially large ones have even reached up to an unbelievable 1,000 of meters in height. They were like mountains peeking out from the land, awesome in their appearance. The Jiantree Forest was once the land of the elves. They had started building their home on those trees from thousands of years ago. 300 years ago, however, a certain incident caused massive casualties to the elves. Afterwards, the chief of the elves led their people out of the forest to instead establish the Jiantree city. Although it's unknown just why the elves left their original home, the fact of the matter is that the elves were still a powerful force, so they were easily able to keep the Jauntry city stable and well protected, thus drawing many to seek refuge within. Over the many, many years, Jauntry City became one of the forest cities within the Chaos Forest. It is the economic center of an area extending hundreds, even thousands of kilometers, encompassing countless tribes within the forest. Thus, it is also the strongest faction within that area. Su Yan couldn't wait to get into the city and start exploring. However, two Tigerkin soldiers stopped her at the gate. "Stop right there. Where's your entry pass?" Su Yan was befuddled. "What entry pass?" The Tigerkin soldiers glared. "No entry into the city without an entry pass. Get lost now, don't get in the way here." The Jauntry city is extremely guarded. It wasn't a place that anyone could enter or exit as they liked. After all, the Chaos Forest is an utterly lawless place. There are all kinds of sneaky and dangerous factors all around. "Hey now, guys. I'm a hero, so can't you make an exception?" "Tui, who cares if you're a hero or whatever. No one without an entry pass is allowed inside the city, so get lost." Su Yan was out of luck. Even so, she didn't try to continue bothering the guards. "Humph, I'd rather like to see just how you think you're going to stop me from getting in." She found a corner that no one was watching and transformed into a small bat. It was the Shadow Bat skill. It was all thanks to the boss for letting her kill the Demon King that she managed to get this talent skill. This skill allowed her to instantly transform into one or several shadow bats. It can be used for scouting, escape, or dodging enemy attacks. It was a fairly useful skill. Su Yan attempted to try to circumvent the city wall. The result was that she ended up slamming into an invisible barrier. Ow! That hurts. So Jauntry City is completely covered by a barrier. This is an important piece of information. I need to make sure to report this to the boss. Having failed to break through head-on, she had no choice but to look for other means. After a number of additional tries, Su Yan finally found a hole in the defenses. She dove down into a sewer tunnel and successfully entered the city. "Ha ha ha. I did it. I knew that there's no way that it could beat me. So this is Jauntry City, huh? What a bustling place." Su Yan walked around down the streets. Everything around her was completely new to her. The structures here were elegantly designed, and the streets were all tidy and clean. It was also quite environmentally conscious as well, as expected of the works of elves. She might be a foxkin, but she didn't actually stand out at all. Although the Jauntry City is governed by the elves, all kinds of races of the Chaos Forest actually live within it. Elves, orcs, tigerkin, bearkin, half-orcs, gnomes, and even goblins. All kinds of races of the forest can be found everywhere on the streets. It gave off a very exotic feel to it. Back in reality, Su Yan was a university student from a wealthy, new-money family. She had gone traveling with her family to over 20 foreign countries, but even so, she had never felt just a sense of newness as she did now. She quite liked this feeling. Truly, it was a great new experience for her. Of course, Su Yan wasn't here to just play tourist. She did not forget her actual mission. She needed to gather useful information for the boss. Su Yan found it difficult to decide on a direction for a moment. She didn't know where to start. Just then, though, an idea popped into her head as she thought of a place. After gathering some basic information, Su Yan arrived at the Heroes Guild. A Heroes Guild isn't actually any kind of formal organization. Rather, it's more like a loose alliance of heroes. The guild in the Jauntry City is led by the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild, but that doesn't mean that all the heroes of the guild belong to the Iron-Blooded Heroes. There were also numerous other small parties or even soloers. The guild headquarters here seems to be a bar. The actual functions offered were basically not much different from a bar either. Dozens, even hundreds of heroes of various races were drinking and boasting. Hero players weren't like Demon King players. Demon Kings have their chat menu to communicate to each other with. Heroes don't have a chat menu, so a neutral place like a guild is basically a gathering place and information center. "Oh, someone new? It's a foxkin girl, huh? Hee hee, hey there pretty chick, how about sharing a drink with us?" Su Yan caught quite a bit of attention. A number of people even started wolf whistling at her and some even got up in preparation to hit on her. They were as annoying as flies buzzing about. In response to that, Su Yan showed no reaction and simply flashed the Bat Demon badge that she was wearing. The heroes around immediately reacted to that and shut up. This was a reward that can only be gained from destroying a Demon King's nest. Not only is it a great piece of equipment, it's also a proof of one's strength and status. For those heroes here, the vast majority of them were complete N00 BS. They haven't even been to a demon king's nest before, never mind actually succeeding in hunting a demon king. Thus, it's only obvious that they didn't have the guts to pester a hero who has already succeeded. Su Yan wanted to gather information, but as she was hesitating over just where to start, a voice rang out near her, "Not bad. Although you're a weak fox-kin, you were still able to become a level 2 hero. Why don't you come join our iron-blooded heroes?" When Su Yan looked over to where the voice originated, she saw a man with skin the same color as goblins. He towered up at 2 meters in height, was bulging with muscles, with red eyes, and had 2 pearly white tusks coming out of his mouth. "He's an orc." Su Yan activated her detection skill and her expression changed slightly in reaction. This orc wasn't just level 2, his actual strength has reached nearly the level of a level 2 lord. Is Jauntry City really hiding that many powerhouses? Just some random hero is already this strong? No. Even within Jauntry City, there's no way that he's some minor character. Su Yan asked with visible caution, "And you are?" The orc replied, "Vice Captain of the Iron-Blooded Heroes, Jing Xiao. And now we finally start the next arc, focused on the Jauntry City and the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild. All kinds of fun times ahead, heh." She didn't expect him to be one of the higher-ups of the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild. Su Yan thus asked, "What kind of advantages would I get if I joined?" "Huh, you really are new here. Otherwise, there's no way that you would have asked such a dumb question." Jing Xiao spoke, "The Iron-Blooded Heroes is the strongest hero organization within several hundred kilometers of the Jauntry City. We've hunted and slain dozens of demon kings so far." "Slain dozens of demon kings? That number is way too big." Jing Xiao continued to say, "Our guild master is the famous Du Mingfeng. Right now, his identity is one of the 4 great guardian elves of the Jauntry City." Su Yan visibly reacted to that. Du Mingfeng. That was quite a famous name. He was a major business mogul back in reality. He supposedly started from absolute nothing, yet eventually reached the point of being a multi-billionaire. He was a super rich person with tons of controversies about him. Someone like that is no simple person to begin with, yet he ended up directly transmigrating into one of the 4 great guardian elves of the Jauntry City. Those guardian elves can be considered the generals of the elven face, and the 4 guardian elves are the 4 highest generals of the Jauntry City. Their main responsibility is to guarantee the public order of the city as well as keep it safe from outside invaders. No wonder Du Mingfeng was able to build the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild. This hero organization was far stronger than she had originally thought. This is a major piece of news, something that can definitely earn her quite a bit of merits from the boss. Jing Zhao's tone then turned harsh. "The status of the Iron-Blooded Heroes is quite coveted. There's little need to further expound upon the advantages of joining us. On the other hand, if someone were to offend the Iron-Blooded Heroes, then there won't be a place left for them within the Jauntry City." Su Yan could hear the implied threat in his words. The Iron-Blooded Heroes really were tyrannical in their way of doing things. Su Yan coldly smirked in her mind. She already had a powerful backer now, so what worth did a mere hero organization have? What did they even have that can compare to that big-shot boss of hers? "I'll join." Su Yan was unfazed by Jing Zhao's little attempt at luring her in with a carrot and a stick. She was only joining them in order to gain more information. If any special situations were to pop up, then she'll slip away immediately. Jing Xiao was quite satisfied with this result. The Iron-Blooded Heroes had quite some reputation, after all, and he managed to gain for the guild yet another great member. Given the equipment on this foxskin hero, her actual capabilities should be about equivalent to that of a level 2 elite. Even within the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild, she can be considered one of the elite members. Plus, she was quite a beautiful woman at that. If his guildmaster were to fancy her and take her for himself, then he would also be able to get quite some bonuses from that as well. Thus, Jing Xiao brought Su Yan over to the headquarters of the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild. The place is set right next to the military base of the Jauntry City. The entire way was very well guarded, full of elven warriors patrolling everywhere. "You'll be joining the guild officially a few days from now. For the time being, you can stay here in the headquarters and take the time to get used to things." Su Yan looked around. "Why are there so few people here in the headquarters though?" Jing Xiao explained, "The Iron-Blooded Heroes are strict when it comes to our entry requirements. Our membership focuses on quality rather than quantity. Plus, over 70% of our members are spread out among the forest and are infiltrating and taking control of the nearby native factions and tribes, so it's only natural that we wouldn't have many people here in the headquarters. When she heard that, Su Yan remembered Zhao Lei. If Zhao Lei didn't end up getting killed, then he may very well end up bringing the Minotaurs into the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild. A single Zhao Lei was able to order about hundreds, up to even 1,000 Minotaurs. In that case then, what if the Iron-Blooded Heroes had 10 or even 20 Zhao Lei? The amount of power that they would then command would thus be rather horrifying. Plus, their guild master was also one of the guardian elves of Jontree City, thus allowing him to command a portion of the elven army within the city. The more she learned, the more shocked Su Yan was. This hero group has a terrifying amount of power. Adding together their powers on the surface and all the hidden factions they have control over, the Iron-Blooded Heroes were far stronger than she had imagined, and their ambitions are likely also far greater as well. It was undeniably a dangerous organization. It's probably the only hero faction in this area capable of threatening the Darkness Valley. Vice Captain. A huge figure built like a miniature mountain came over. He was a full 2 stories tall, with skin the color and texture of concrete, and had 2 heads on his shoulders. It was a race known as an ogre. Normal ogres are basically around the size of minotaurs, but this particular one is far larger than minotaurs. This is because he is one of the rare 2-headed ogres. Supposedly, for ogres, among every 100,000 of them born would be a mutated species. Not only would they be double the size of a normal ogre, but they would also be born with 2 heads, a main and a substitute. Those ogres are far stronger as well as being born with magical abilities. Normally, they would all end up the chiefs of their ogre tribes. The one before her is obviously an ogre hero though. Su Yan secretly activated her appraisal skill. What she found out was that the ogre was likely similar in strength to the vice captain Jing Xiao. Jing Xiao immediately asked, "Zhou Kun? Why are you back here?" The ogre hero Zhou Kun replied, "I'll tell you about it later. For now, the guild master wants to see us, so we should head on over first." "All right." Jing Xiao did not dare to act carelessly here, so he sent Su Yan away to find a decent place to stay on her own. Su Yan acted agreeable on the surface, but secretly, she had certain ideas. Jing Xiao and Zhou Kun were some of the top brass for the Heroes Guild, and since they were being summoned by the guild master at the same time, it must be for something important. This may be something worth spying on. Thus, while no one was watching her, she shook her sleeves. An unremarkable little bat flew out from within her sleeves and followed behind Jing Xiao and Zhou Kun into a meeting room. The transmission bat's combat ability is basically insignificant, but it does have the 3 F-rank skills: sound transmission, supersonic detection, and super hearing. Of those 3 skills, the skill super hearing can let it notice any motion within several hundred meters, and it is even able to then use sound transmission to then notify its owner of what it learns. The transmission bat is extremely weak, but that also makes it very hard to notice. Thus, it can be considered a very good eavesdropping tool, making it especially suited to Su Yan's spy work. Soon, she heard the conversation. In response to that, she was overjoyed. She had gotten a huge stroke of luck. This is very important news, with very high value indeed. With the news that she just got, she would definitely be able to get another skill stone as reward from the boss the next time she meets with him. Guild Master. The 2 of them saw their guild master after entering the room. Du Mingfeng is an elf, but he is very different from the other elves with their thin and delicate looks. Du Mingfeng is 2 meters tall, with deep and solid features. He also has a long scar running across his entire face, giving him a dark and lone wolf-like impression. We had lost all contact with the forward army that we sent over to the Bloodhoof tribe. Our conjecture is that it was due to the Demon King in the Darkness Valley. Both Jing Xiao and Zhou Kun were visibly shocked at this news. That army had at least 5 level 2 elites, over 10 other heroes, and hundreds of elite warriors. Yet, they were gone, just like that. The most worrisome part though is that such an elite army had completely lost contact. The fact that there wasn't even a single survivor was something rather unbelievable. Jing Xiao frowned deeply. In that case then, it looks like Zhao Lei and his Bloodhoof tribe must have also fallen to that Demon King. The ogre Zhou Kun decided to volunteer. "Allow me to meet him in battle then. I rather want to see just how strong he really is." Du Mingfeng shook his head. "Everything is completely unknown about this Demon King right now, so we cannot risk it at this time." Zhou Kun replied, "But we can't just ignore him either. That Demon King will only get stronger and stronger. If we don't do something, he'll likely end up becoming the biggest threat to us. Du Mingfeng flashed a confident smile at that. There's no need to worry. Even if this Demon King has some abilities, there's still no way that he'll be any threat to us. Seeing that the other two were uncomprehending, Du Mingfen elaborated further. The current young lord of Jiantree City is weak and incapable, soft and indecisive. Thus, the elven elders are currently planning on selecting a deputy lord. You should understand just what this kind of opportunity means for us. The other two were overjoyed at that news. If it's the deputy lord of the Jiantree City, then their guild master has a very good chance at it given that he's a guardian elf. Although there are 4 guardian elves, Du Mingfeng has the obvious advantage. After all, he was a big shot who had once single-handedly built an economic empire. When it comes to management capabilities, operational intellect, and skills at scheming, how could any of these hicks possibly compare? No, they have no hope at all. He had arrived at Jiantree City for a month now and he had already brought a great deal of change to the city. His fame and prestige rises by the day and he has already become the head of the 4 great guardian elves. Thus, he's basically already guaranteed for the position of deputy lord. Du Mingfeng had been secretly investing in various factions and drawing people to him all this time. Plus, he had even used his heroes to secretly control something like 30 tribes of various sizes outside. Such ambitions were quite revealing. If he could take the position of deputy lord, then the incompetent young lord will be reduced to a figurehead in a flash. At that time, the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild will become the true rulers over the Jiantree City. Du Mingfeng spoke confidently, if we can control the Jiantree City, what would a tiny demon king of the Darkness Valley be to us? He'd be merely an insignificant mob, that's all. Jing Xiao and Zhou Kuan hurriedly congratulated him. Congratulations, Guildmaster. We're most lucky to be following you in your ascension. Du Mingfeng nodded with satisfaction, therefore, we have to act with steadiness. We'll leave the Darkness Valley alone for now. Zhou Kuan, you have a different job. Please order me, Guildmaster. A fairly strong demon king is residing over in the Myriad Flower Valley 150 kilometers north of Jiantree City. She should be enough to let you raise your strength to the lord level. Haha. She's just a mere flower fae. Just give me 3 days. I'll definitely crush her. As the 3 of them conversed, an unremarkable little bat was quietly hanging upside down right outside of the door. That night. Darkness Valley. Zhang Nu had received Su Yan's report. She had reported all the information that she gathered throughout the day. This spy really was working her hardest. It was something that Zhang Nu was quite happy with. His decision to not kill her back then really was the right one. The Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild? They do seem quite strong. However, what Zhang Nu was more worried about right now was the Flower Fae Demon King who was about to be subjugated by them. Zhang Nu wouldn't care the slightest about if any other Demon King lives or dies, but Flower Faes are a very rare race. He only knows one Flower Fae and that person is his most important economic supplier. Therefore, could it really be that big a coincidence? Recently, his farms have expanded a great deal, so his demand for seeds have also increased greatly as well. Thus, he currently urgently needs to massively increase his seed purchases. If something were to happen to Chenguogua now of all Imes, then Zhang Nu would have lost a major supplier of seeds. There was no way that he'd be able to find a supplier to replace Chenguogua in a short amount of time too. Thus, if that were to happen, then him leveling up his farm would have been pointless. Not only would his territory's food production decrease greatly, he would even end up taking a great deal of losses in the short term. At that time, he'll end up exhausting an enormous amount of food in order to keep his 3,000 plus draconians and thousands of goblins plus minotaurs alive. Just how fast can he continue developing if his economics ends up in a tight situation? Thus, Zhang Nu immediately contacted Chenguogua. Zhang Nu, there? After about an hour. Flower Fae Chenguogua, sorry about that, I was busy with something and only saw the message just now. Are you looking to buy more seeds? Zhang Nu, yeah. I need a great deal of seeds. How's your recent production? Flower Fae Chenguogua, I'll continue to produce another few batches of seeds, but you should probably look for some other suppliers soon. I'm worried that I might not be able to supply you for much longer. Zhang Nu asked, why do you say that? Has something happened? Flower Fae Chenguogua, sigh, some heroes have locked their eyes on me. Although I managed to chase them away for the time being, they'll definitely be back. Flower Fae Chenguogua, those heroes are really strong, and they probably have some powerful allies. I'm not too confident in my ability to hold them off. Alright then. It's basically confirmed then. The unlucky Flower Fae Demon King that the iron-blooded heroes have their eyes on is definitely this most important supplier of his. This news is actually both good and bad for him. The bad part is that his seed supplies will be unavoidably affected somewhat for the recent period. The good part is that Flower Fae Chingwugwa is actually located not all that far from his own location. In the future, he'll be able to take safe control over the entire supply chain for his biggest enterprise. This kind of thing is something inevitable for all demon kings. If Flower Fae Chingwugwa was tens of thousands of kilometers away, then Zhang Nu wouldn't have been able to do much more than watch uselessly. However, this case is different. Chingwugwa is located about 150 kilometers north of the Jiantree city, and Darkness Valley is over 200 kilometers south of Jiantree city. The two of them are about 400 kilometers apart, which isn't that long a distance, all told. He is very much capable of interfering in the coming battle in order to change its fate. Zhang Nu finally spoke, "Alright, stop saying such depressing words. As my important collaboration partner, I have a way to help you deal with your problem. The heroes won't have such an easy time getting what they want." Chingwugwa, really? What should I do? Boss, please teach me. Zhang Nu, there's no need for you to worry. Just keep raising your seeds at peace. You'll know when the time comes. Myriad Flower Valley. When she saw Zhang Nu's message, Chingwugwa was rather bewildered. Chingwugwa had been working with Zhang Nu for quite some time now, so she has absolute faith that Zhang Nu is a super powerful big-shot grade demon king. Her own instinct told her that Zhang Nu was trustworthy, but intellectually, she knew that this wasn't possible. Chingwugwa was firmly aware that even if she can't compare to Zhang Nu, she's definitely doing much better than the vast majority of other demon kings. During the past bit of time, the price of seeds has been rising the entire time. Zhang Nu also continued to buy them at the market price. Thus, Chingwugwa was able to earn a huge amount of money from Zhang Nu just through her ability to cultivate seeds. Her territory has over 1,000 units, and of them, she has over 700 minor Flower Fae and over 600 venomous Flower Fae. The former is a production unit. They don't have any combat ability at all. On the other hand, the venomous Flower Fae is a combat unit. Although they haven't reached the elite level, they're unusually strong for a level 1 normal unit. Despite the many hero attacks she has endured, the vast majority of them weren't even able to lay eyes on Chingwugwa herself. They all got done in by the venomous Flower Fae without being able to fight back. Thanks to those souls, she rose to level 2 just not all that long ago. She had even specifically bought blueprints to build defensive structures to help defend her territory. She has a Boarkin camp. With it, she summoned 10 elite Boarkin and over 100 normal Boarkin in order to cover for the Flower Fae warriors' weaknesses. With such power and wealth at her command, just how many demon kings could compare to her at this current time period? Even so, the 2 recent attacks she endured were very difficult for Chingwugwa. Her keen instincts told her that those were merely scouts and probes at her. Every single time, they retreated right after making contact with her forces, so their main force will likely be coming for her soon. Zhang Nu was probably just comforting me. No matter how powerful he is, he'd still have a tough time helping me in this kind of situation. Chingwugwa thought it over. In the end, she still had to just rely on herself. It's simply far too unrealistic for her to put her hopes on other people. After Chingwugwa purged those random thoughts from her mind, she started concentrating on preparing for the oncoming battle. She spent all the gold she had on hand, summoned up another batch of venomous Flower Fae in order to replenish the losses she had taken the past few days. In the end, not 2 days after, a minor Flower Fae came up to her to report. "Mistress, we're under attack." Chingwugwa asked solemnly, "What are their numbers?" The minor Flower Fae spoke quite panically, "There are a lot this time, about nearly 1,000. Plus, there are a lot of ogres among them." Ogres. Chingwugwa was visibly shocked at that word. Ogres are the most aggressive and violent race in the forest. A normal adult ogre is even more powerful than a minotaur. They're a monster whose might is near the elite level. They'll be really hard to deal with if they're in a large group. Thus, Chingwugwa headed out to the heavily defended entrance of the valley. When she personally saw the enemies laid out before her, she ended up gasping. A massive horde of nearly 1,000 enemies laid before her. Of them, 500 were the muscular-looking ogres. They were huge in size, wore heavy armor, and held large axes and hammers in their hands. Just the sight was enough to make one shiver in fear. The other races were also creatures like tigerkin and bearkin. Not only are they numerous, they're also well equipped. This is obviously a real battle now. The heroes were aiming to destroy the Demon King nest in one go here. The ogre chief Zhou Kun shouted out, "Ha! Demon King! I suggest that you stop your pointless struggling and just come out to face your death instead. It'll at least save you some pain. Dream on. Come at me. I'm not afraid of you." Chen Guoguo was clenching her teeth. She had poured so much of her sweat and blood into building her territory up to where it is now, so how can she possibly just give up? Even if she really does end up losing, she at least has to fight it out to the very end. Stubborn fool. Zhou Kun showed a cold smirk. Fine then. Since you refuse to accept reality until it's right before you, I'll let you have your wish and show you what despair really means. The war drums rang out. The first squad of ogres started pushing forward. Each of those ogres were equipped with a huge 5-meter-tall shield. Chen Guoguo had immediately directed her venomous flower phase to start attacking. The Flower Fey race had an unusual variety of different combat units available to them, but Chen Guoguo's Flower Fey depended mainly on the venomous Flower Fey warriors as her main fighting force. Venomous Flower Fey are considered a plant-type unit. The advantage to them is that they need very little food, much like with undeads. Thus, their daily upkeep costs tend to be relatively low. Their disadvantage is the fact that their movement speed is very low, leading to low mobility issues. Venomous Flower Fey have a rather special kind of attack. They'll use their flowers to shoot venomous stingers at their enemies. Those stingers have an effective range of hundreds of meters, and they're also launched with force equivalent to that of heavy crossbows. Plus, those struck by them will end up being paralyzed by the venom, making them unable to move. Just one or two might not be all that scary. Although they're hard to defend against, the firing rate of the venomous stingers aren't all that high. However, things are different when an entire field is filled with venomous Flower Fey. At this point, countless venomous stingers rained down on the invaders. Not even a lord-leveled monster would be able to withstand such an attack, and many heroes have already died to this maneuver. Yet, the demon subjugation army was already prepared for it. The ogres wielding huge shields stood at the very front and blocked the vast majority of the rain of stingers with their shields, covering the troops behind them. 350 meters. 300 meters. 250 meters. The two sides were getting closer and closer to each other. Even so, the Flower Phase attacks were dealing very little damage. Chen Guoguo was extremely anxious. She continued to activate her own skills in order to repeatedly summon large amounts of vines in order to obstruct the ogre's advance. Yet, none of that was of much help. It just bought her a bit more time, but it had no effect on the direction of the battle. She was in trouble. The venomous Flower Fey are very fragile, having nearly zero melee combat capabilities. Plus, their movement speed is terrible. Thus, the moment they were forced into melee combat, it would mean the end for them. What can I do? Chen Guoguo was terrified. The gap in capabilities between their two sides was just too much. She has no way of holding back this major invasion. All her blood and sweat she had invested was about to be completely and cruelly destroyed. Ha ha ha. This Demon King is on her last legs. Congratulations to the boss for another successful Demon King hunt. The 10+ iron-blooded heroes next to Zhou Kun were all level 1 elites at the least, with several of them having reached level 2 elite even. Even just those heroes were by no means easy to deal with. Plus, Zhou Kun himself hasn't taken any actions thus far either. This just goes to show that the demon subjugation army hasn't shown all its cards yet, but even so, they still managed to hold such a decisive advantage against the Demon King. Thus, this battle was practically decided already. Thus, the subordinates decided to engage in some flattery, which Zhou Kun himself was quite happy with. This Demon King only has 2 cards left to play. The first is the defensive structure Tree Guardians and the other being her Boarkin squad. However, those are nothing to be feared. It was easy to see that the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild are rigorous in their actions. Every single time they challenge a Demon King, they would collect as much information as possible, lower as much risk as possible, use tactics specifically aimed at their enemies, and thus leave no way out for the Demon King in question. Whoosh! Whoosh! Objects screamed through the air. Several truck-sized boulders flew out from inside the valley and slammed right into the ogre squads with terrifying speed and force. After several impacts, many ogres had their shields shattered and themselves crushed. It was the Flower Fey Chen Guoguo's defensive structure, the Tree Guardians. Tree Guardians are a special kind of structure. They're quite similar to treants in appearance, with solid bodies, thick arms, but are unable to move. Their arms allow them to attack enemies in melee range, but as an immobile structure, their main ability is their ability to create giant boulders to throw as a ranged attack. Chenguagua has 2 tree guardians. They were built near her Demon King altar. Since the demon subjugation army had entered their attack range, they started attacking with their boulder throws, which did manage to successfully force a few openings into the ogre shield troop formation. However, it couldn't do much to change the tide of the battle. The heroes have long since made preparations against them. Zhou Kun sneered, "Deploy the mage squad." This demon subjugation army has a special squad within it. It's made of 25 elves, and all of them were dressed like mages. They were the elves of Jiantree City, a group that Du Mingfeng specifically sent along to aid them. Of them, the weakest were level 1 elites. As the elven mages chanted, one fireball after another flew out. Thus, the boulders were blown apart in midair before they could land. Chenguagua was chalk white. Were even the tree guardians useless here? The only force she has left that she can use is the Borkin army she summoned from the Borkin camp, but can they really turn the tables here? She only had about 100 Borkin in her army. Of them, only about 10 were elites. How are they supposed to hold back the ogre formation before her? She's already lost this battle. She won't be able to stop them no matter what. Ha ha ha. Demon King, you're already out of tricks now. But we haven't even started warming up yet. Zhou Kun had a vicious expression on his face, everyone berserk. Begin the assault. The ogres roared out in excitement. Their eyes turned blood red and their muscles bulged out. Their movement speed also more than doubled. Not even a god can save you now. Zhou Kun also activated the ogre's berserk skill as well. He was ready to personally lead his hero squad into a charge. Those flower fae are no match in close combat, so just a single round of attacks should completely shatter them. Victory was right before his eyes. He just needed to take down this Demon King, and he should get at least 50 to 60 training points from that. It was more than enough to boost Zhou Kun's power into the realm of a lord-level powerhouse. Just as the heroes were assured of their victory, and even the flower fae Demon King Chenguagua had practically given up all hope herself. Suddenly, a roar rang out. It was a clear dragon's roar. It came from up in the sky. Everyone thus raised their heads to look up. "Boss! There's something up in the sky. It looks like a dragon." A completely crimson, over 20 meters long draconic life form arrived before everyone's shocked eyes and started circling overhead. Its wings flapped, and countless fireballs, wind blades, and lightning strikes fell down like rain, all of them concentrated on the elven mages. That was something completely unexpected. The elves from Jiantree are extremely valuable. If anything happened to them, then they'd have a hard time explaining themselves when they returned. Thus, Zhou Kun had very carefully kept them safe within the center of his formations. Yet, no one could have expected an attack like this, and not even the elven mages were able to react in time. In the blink of an eye, the elven mage squad was annihilated. Zhou Kun was enraged. Fucking hell. That damn beast. Kill him. Kill him right now. Arrows and javelins rained up toward the dragon. However, the crimson dragon showed no signs of fear. He released a magic barrier around him, easily blocking the attack. Roar! The crimson dragon spat out a huge blast of flames. This particular blast of dragon fire was quite weak compared to the dragon flame of a true dragon, but its power and area of effect was still quite mighty to behold. As the crimson dragon flew a circle over the demon subjugation army while withstanding all the attacks flung towards him, everywhere he passed was reduced to a sea of flames, and hundreds of warrior dove for cover or ran while completely on fire. He had managed to force such an enormous army into retreat just on his own, thus giving the Flower Fae army that was on the verge of destruction some breathing room. Damn it. That's a sky drake. It's a level 2 lord monster at least. Where the hell did that thing pop up from? The demon subjugation army's stable formation was already in chaos from the dragon's surprise attack, and casualties were already mounting rapidly. Just what's going on? Chenguagua's eyes were wide. Her face was contorted into an expression of disbelief. She suddenly thought of something though, and she looked toward the crimson, fire-breathing dragon. That dragon. It can't be that he's Boss Zhang Nu. It's possible. No wonder he said what he did back then. To think that the boss is a sky drake. And so terrifyingly strong at that. The sky drake is very powerful, but under the concentrated assault launched at it, its magic shield was being quickly depleted. The sky drake thus stopped its fire breathing. Instead he landed and shifted into a humanoid form. He was a draconian around 2.5 meters, dressed in a robe, wearing a mask, and holding a staff. He had a powerful presence about him. Zhou Kun immediately had a realization, another demon king. The other heroes were somewhat panicked. The iron-blooded heroes have defeated many demon kings in the past, but all demon kings tended to work alone. They've never seen any demon king ally with another demon king before. Plus, this particular demon king is terrifyingly strong. Zhou Kun shouted a question, "You're the one from Darkness Valley?" "That's right." The draconian priest answered truthfully. The furious attack from before used up quite a bit of his MP, so he was taking this opportunity to use 2 bottles of moonlight potion. Zhou Kun snorted, "As I thought. The Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild has investigated practically all of the nearby Demon King factions in the vicinity. They had a basic understanding of their capabilities and race for practically all of them. Only a rare few Demon Kings are still unknown as of yet. Out of those Demon Kings, the strongest and most mysterious faction was the one in the Darkness Valley. Therefore, their opponent's identity was easy to figure out. All of the heroes here, including Zhou Kun, were absolutely certain that the Draconian Priest is the Demon King. It's because only the highest grade Demon Kings could possibly be so powerful." Zhou Kun's expressions went through many changes. It was first dark, then enraged, before finally turning vicious. "We were planning to destroy you from the start, but to think that you'd deliver yourself right to us. Well, alright then, we might as well take you down at the same time. The Darkness Valley is very powerful. It had destroyed Zhou Lei's Minotaur tribe and also annihilated a forward army of the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild. Even the guild master fears it, so it can be imagined just how difficult it would be to directly assault it. However, things are different here. The Demon King has come out of his own accord. He actually left his base to support the Flower Fae Demon King. It's true that this makes things a great deal more difficult, but isn't it also a rare and valuable opportunity? The Sky Drake Demon King's power definitely far exceeds that of the Flower Fae Demon King. Zhou Kun could easily get 50 to 60 training points from killing the Flower Fae Demon King, so if he could kill the Sky Drake Demon King, then wouldn't he be able to get several times that as the reward? Not only would it be a great accomplishment, it would also greatly increase his strength. At that point, who else in the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild, bearing the Guild Master, would be able to compare to him? Jingzhao's position as the second in command will be his then. The more Zhou Kun thought about it, the more excited he got. Even if it ends up a Pyrrhic victory, even if he ends up sending his entire army to their deaths, it would be completely worth it if he could kill those 2 demon kings here. Don't panic. He didn't bring his subordinates. So what if he's strong himself? This helped to restore the confidence of the other heroes and warriors. That's right, no matter how strong the other party is, in the end, he's just one person. So what if he's a level 2 lord? The boss, Zhou Kun, could hold his own even against a level 2 lord. Plus, the heroes still had many level 2 powerhouses to add to that. They were only in such a terrible state a bit ago due to being attacked by surprise. From now on, the hero squad just need to hold back the Sky Drake, and the others will be able to charge in to destroy the Flower Fae Demon King. After taking down the Flower Fae Demon King, they can then come back to drown the Sky Drake in numbers. Even if the Sky Drake is unreasonably strong, in that situation, it's still dead for certain. Immediately, roars of fury exploded out. The demon subjugation army reformed. Zhou Kun was about to lead a new round of attacks. Chen Guoguo flew over to the Draconian Priest. "Boss, the enemies are really strong. If it's really impossible, then you should retreat first, otherwise, it really might get dangerous for you." The Draconian Priest calmly replied, "My lord gave me 2 tasks. The first is to save you. The second is to destroy this army. For this old man, failing to accomplish either one of those tasks is more serious to me than losing my life." Chen Guoguo froze for a moment. "Cough, what did you just say? Are you not Boss Zhang Nu?" The Draconian Priest replied, "Of course not. Why should the Great Lord himself personally act to deal with a bunch of insects like them? This one, Li Si, is merely an insignificant servant of my lord." "What? He's not the boss? Boss Zhang Nu never showed in the first place?" Chen Guoguo felt like her head was ringing. She was having some difficulty processing all the new information. How was this possible? Li Si's power is already this terrifying. Even for a demon king, he would count as among the top-ranked. How could such a powerful existence just be a demon king's subordinate? really is just plain unbelievable. Unthinkable. Chunguokwa couldn't help but ask, but, how are we supposed to deal with these heroes then? The draconian priest calmly spoke, you and your subordinates just need to act in support. As for the direct battle, leave that to me. As he spoke, he took a step forward. The draconian priest raised the staff in his hand, and a long and incomprehensible incantation rang out. The draconian priest slammed his staff into the ground and countless runes started expanding out from him as the center. They instantly covered an area the size of a soccer field and formed into an enormous magical formation. Death Field. Weakening Field. When Zhou Kun and his heroes entered those fields, they immediately felt their HP and strength being rapidly drained away. You are under the effect of the Death Field. Minus 15 HP every minute. You are under the effect of the Weakening Field. Minus 50% strength, agility, constitution, and will. What terrifying debuffs. An average level 1 unit only has about 20 to 30 HP. Under the draconian priest's fields, they won't even be able to hold out for more than 2 minutes. The draconian priest is even layering a weakness field on top of that, greatly weakening the demon subjugation army and lowering their combat capabilities enormously. Damn it. Kill him, quick. Zhou Kun realized how bad the situation was. What kind of unbelievable skill is that? How the heck were they supposed to fight under that kind of field effect? The draconian priest showed no reactions whatsoever. He simply finished his third incantation and a terrifying wave of magic power was released. Teleportation Field. One teleportation effect appeared after another within the magic formations around the draconian priest. The next second, following a flash of light, hundreds of new figures were sent here. An entire army appeared out of thin air, placing the formerly alone draconian priest well protected within the center of their formations. The reason why Zhou Kun dared to charge in anyways was all because the demon king of Darkness Valley was all on his own. Who could have imagined that he could use teleportation to suddenly pull out so many subordinates? Every single one of the teleported units were elites. How are they supposed to fight against that? The heroes went deathly pale. Zhou Kun hurriedly roared out, retreat. Ho ho. Finally running away? Too late. As the draconian priest Li Si coldly sneered, a powerful flame explosion curse was launched out and exploded right on top of the ogre hero leading the charge. You've slain an elf mage. Gold plus 50. You've slain an elf mage. Gold plus 50. You've slain a high elf mage. Gold plus 800. You've slain an ogre hero. Level 2 hero's soul plus 1. You've slain a minotaur hero. Level 1 hero's soul plus 1. You've slain a wolfkin hero. Level 1 hero's soul plus 1. You've slain a tigerkin hero. Level 2 hero's soul plus 1. Zhang Nu wasn't on scene, but the furious barrage of messages in his player menu gave him enough information to understand just how the battle was going. The powers on the two sides were quite different, thus making it a one-sided battle. Zhang Nu was quite satisfied with the draconian priest's performance. The draconian priest's role is different from that of the draconian general. The draconian general is a direct combat unit, whereas the draconian priest is focused far more on support. Even so, the draconian priest's might is not to be underestimated. In fact, it's not that much inferior compared to that of the draconian general, and its powerful magic field effects make it even better suited for large-scale battles. Although a draconian priest's direct combat powers in draconian form isn't all that strong, as an abyssal draconian, a draconian priest is also capable of transforming into a dragon form. In Skydrake form, the draconian priest is unable to use certain field spells, but its offensive might will not lose to any other level 2 lord monsters. In summary, the draconian priest has powerful combat support capabilities and has high intelligence. It's a very excellent unit. After about 30 minutes, the draconian priest led its army back home. The draconian priest's teleportation field is a rare spatial skill. That said, this skill does have some rather troublesome setup requirements that need to be met before it can be used. The draconian priest has to first leave a temporary teleportation field over in the Darkness Valley and have the soldiers to be teleported to wait within that field ahead of time. Then, he has to physically head over to the Myriad Flowers Valley to activate the teleportation. Only then will he be able to teleport the targets from the Darkness Valley over to where he is. The temporary field also only lasts for 24 hours at most. It is rather troublesome, but it can't be denied that the ability to quickly move one's army like that is worth a lot in terms of strategic value. After they returned, Li Si casted a healing field and left the injured soldiers there to heal. Zhang Nu did some calculations through the information he got from his player menu. All in all, the casualties from this battle cost him around 3,000 to 4,000 gold total. This wasn't really a big deal for him at all. Reporting, my lord. The threat to the Flower Fey Demon King has been resolved. We have defeated the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild, destroyed over 90% of their army, and killed every single one of the heroes that led it. In this battle, they had no chance to set up an ambush ahead of time, nor did they have suitable terrain, so it was unrealistic to wipe out every single one of their enemies here. There's always going to be someone who ran away ahead of time, who slipped the net. That said, killing over 90% of their enemies is already a very glorious result. Zhang Nu nodded, you've done well. After this battle, Zhang Nu is sure to become the biggest enemy of the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild, and Jiantree City is also sure to pay far more attention to him, perhaps even fear him. That mattered little though. A conflict with Jiantree City is unavoidable anyways, so rather than trying to shrink away, he's better off instead taking the initiative and attacking first. At this moment, a private message popped up. Flower Fei Chenguogua, boss, thank you so much. I never thought that I would manage to live through this. And those heroes got the snot beaten out of them too. That was way too satisfying. That girl sent a deluge of messages all at once. Zhang Nu only replied with a single message, quiet down. Flower Fei Chenguogua, you've helped me so much, but I didn't have anything to thank you back with. All I can do is give you a few batches of seeds to show my gratitude. Zhang Nu, don't worry about it. It was nothing. I'll pay a fair price for the seeds though. You need as much gold as you can get to upgrade your territory right now. If you really do want to return the favor, then just properly develop your territory and raise up more and better seeds for me. Chenguogua practically cried with gratitude. Since the boss already said that much, then she won't hold back anymore. She owed him way too much for this. It wasn't something that can be paid back with just a few batches of seeds. Therefore, it's better for her to not try to return the favor now and instead remember to hold her gratitude within her heart for now. Chenguogua decided. She needs to work a lot harder. She needs to get the boss to not need to worry so much about her while at the same time properly work for him. That would be better than anything else. Chenguogua, yes. I'll follow the boss from now on. The Flower Fey Demon King had completely become the boss's fangirl. Zhang Nu is no mere good Samaritan. Him helping Chenguogua was for the sake of helping himself. Even if Chenguogua wasn't the one that the heroes were going after, there's no way that Zhang Nu would simply let go of the chance of taking down such a huge mobilization of heroes. The reason for that is simple. The gains were just too much. The gains this time is as follows. Talent points, 163. Gold, 31865. This is an even bigger haul than taking over a large-sized level 2 elite zone. As he thought, a demon king needs to kill and conquer, especially if the other side is heroes. Nothing is better than slaughtering heroes. Zhang Nu originally had 11 talent points left. With the addition of his gains from this excursion, he now has 174 talent points. That's huge. If he could have killed another level 2 hero or two, then he'll have been able to activate all his remaining talents and directly ascend to a level 3 demon king. It's a bit of a shame not having been able to reach that in one go though. Zhang Nu decided to activate medium anti-magic. Medium anti-magic is not much different from beginner anti-magic. The only difference is that the nullification went up from D rank to C rank. This means that even a top-grade level 2 lord like the Draconian Priest would have a very difficult time dealing any direct damage to Zhang Nu. With the Adamantine Dragon Body and medium anti-magic, along with a large AoE control skill like Dragon Fear, this will make it so that Zhang Nu can be confident of taking on an entire army without any fear of being harmed. One could say that, at that point, pure numbers will no longer have any worth against him. As for how he's going to spend his new gold though? Zhang Nu decided to promote a group of high-ranking soldiers. Then, he'll summon another draconian general. Jiantree City. Du Mingfeng smashed his teacup to the ground in rage. Normally, the guild master is a very calm and respected figure. This is the first time that the members of the Heroes Guild has ever seen him so angry, so all of them were quite fearful. It was a demon hunt that was well prepared for and practically foolproof, and yet it ended up failing out of nowhere. The third in command in the guild, Zhou Kun, also died. This was an embarrassment. Not only that, but of the 1,000 or so combat units that went out only a few dozen managed to return. It was practically a complete wipeout. This incident would cause heavy damage to both the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild's morale and Du Mingfeng's reputation in Jiantree City. Du Mingfeng coldly spoke, "Speak. What happened?" Jing Xiao hurriedly reported, "We've finished investigating the reason for the failure. The cause really is due to something completely unexpected. The Demon King of Darkness Valley is a Sky Drake and is very capable in field-type magic, with which he can single-handedly shift a battlefield to his favor. The entire chain of events is as follows." As Jing Xiao reached the end, he angrily swore, "That motherfucker. It's one thing after another with him that keeps causing losses for our Heroes Guild. That guy's just asking to make an irreconcilable enemy out of us." After hearing the full report, Du Mingfeng instead calmed back down. Pointlessly venting one's rage is the kind of thing that only a weakling would do. Someone like him is not the type to let anger dictate his actions. Demon Kings and heroes are irreconcilable enemies from the start. Although the losses from this failure does hurt quite a bit, failure itself is not something to be feared. What's to be feared is an utterly meaningless failure. We have to learn what lessons we can from any failures. Du Mingfeng learned from the report that the Demon King has the ability to fight in two different forms. In dragon form, he is highly mobile and can attack by breathing dragon fire and using elemental magic. It's the ability to instantly disrupt formations and cause damage. In humanoid form, his field-type magic has powerful battlefield control effects. No normal army could hold out for more than 2 minutes if they entered his fields. No wonder Zhou Kuan was no match for him. This Demon King is indeed very difficult to deal with. However, right now, he has to raise the morale of his men so as to avoid desertions. Du Mingfeng spoke up, "This is indeed the strongest and most hard to deal with Demon King out of all the Demon Kings we Iron-Blooded heroes have dealt with thus far, but victory is not impossible. His Sky Drake form is highly mobile, but so long as we are prepared for it, it's something we can very much deal with via long-distance concentrated fire. His humanoid form's battlefield control ability is very strong, but in order to maintain his field magic, his own mobility will definitely be limited. He lacks close combat capabilities and his own direct damage abilities aren't strong either. We just need to break through the defensive lines as quickly as possible and we'll be able to interrupt his casting." After hearing their guildmaster's words, the heroes all felt it to be quite reasonable. This Demon King is indeed very strong, and even with the full power of the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild, it would still be no easy task to defeat him. However, what's there to fear with the guildmaster here? The guildmaster is definitely strong enough to counter him. Jing Xiao got pumped up, "The guildmaster's right. The failure this time is all due to lack of information, in addition to having to deal with 2 Demon Kings at the same time. However, they won't be so lucky next time." As he said that, he directly requested permission to deploy. "How about I personally lead the army this time and directly assault the Darkness Valley? I guarantee that I can take it." Du Mingfeng shook his head, "There's no need to be so hasty. Wait a bit." Jing Xiao was confused, "Guildmaster, what are you still waiting for?" At this moment, an elf came in, "Sir, the lord of the city requests your presence." When they heard that, everyone visibly reacted. They had a basic idea of why the city lord would request their guildmaster. Du Mingfeng is a guardian elf of Jiantree City. His position is equivalent to a human general, and he himself has a certain amount of military authority. Du Mingfeng did not get permission for the demon subjugation this time. He had transferred a squad of elven mages on his own accord. It wouldn't have mattered much if they all ended up returning unharmed, but the problem is that this squad of elven mages were completely wiped out in the action in the Myriad Flower Valley. The city lord and other higher-ups may very well be using this opportunity to find fault in Du Mingfeng. However, Du Mingfeng just got up without any panic or hurry. "This is what we're waiting for." As he said that, rather than disobeying the summons, he instead directly left with the elven messenger. Jing Xiao was a bit worried. With the deputy lord's selection right around the corner, it would be really bad if this incident ends up affecting things. Just then, he noticed a motion and looked up. There, he saw a little black winging its way off. Strange. There seems to be a bit more bats around in the city. Du Mingfeng walked into the audience room of the Jiantree City. This is the place where the city lord holds court, with several dozen elven guards lined up neatly on either side. Du Mingfeng gazed up at the city lord's throne. There, a little girl who looked around 13 to 14 or so was sitting up on a seat that looked too big for her. That little girl had long silver hair running down to her waist. Her eyes were like the most brilliant rubies. Her beauty is rare and exceptional even amongst elves. 3 years ago, the old city lord unexpectedly passed on and this young little elf was chosen by the Elder Council to be the new lord. The reason why she was able to become the city lord is all due to her having the bloodline of the Elf King. This is the strongest and noblest bloodline among the elven race. A hint of contempt flashed across Du Mingfeng's eyes. Even so, he still properly offered his respect as dictated by elven courtesies. Guardian Elf Jules presents himself before your ladyship. An elven elder stood next to the city lord. He looked visibly aged and was dressed like a mage. He's the oldest and most experienced first elder of Jontree City and he's very old even for an elf. Therefore, he is someone greatly respected within the city. Of course, it's also for that exact reason that he's a thorn in Du Mingfeng's side. Before the young city lord even opened her mouth, the first elder already started speaking in a dissatisfied tone. You transferred and used the defense forces of Jontree City on your own recognizance, leading to 25 elven mages losing their lives. You should know just how great a mistake you have committed. So he was called in to take the blame after all. Du Mingfeng replied calmly, this was an accident. You caused the deaths of 25 of our people, and yet rather than being ashamed of it, you call it an accident instead. Did you forget your responsibility as a guardian elf of Jontree City? Du Mingfeng replied, no, I have not forgotten. It was exactly for the sake of protecting Jontree City that I had to do what I did. The first elder spoke angrily, what? Du Mingfeng explained, the threat of demon kings is far too great. If we cannot slay all the demon kings around us as soon as possible, then Jontree City will be taken over by them sooner or later. The first elder stopped for a moment. Demon kings are previously unknown existences that only appeared recently. Even he, with all his experience and worldliness, knows nothing of them. The young city lord questioned, but why do we have to fight the demon kings? Can't we use diplomatic means to reach a mutual understanding? For us elves, it's peace and freedom that's the most important here. My lady is a bit too naive. Du Mingfeng sneered, who has ever heard of sheep engaging in diplomacy as equals with wolves and tigers? The demon king's very existence is, from start to end, all just to conquer and destroy. They expand endlessly with unending greed and cunning. They're the purest evil. The young city lord frowned. The first elder also fell deep into thought. Demon kings really have appeared for far too short an amount of time, so the elves of Jontree City simply know far too little about this special category of beings. The first elder asked, do you speak truly here? I am willing to accept any test via contracts or oaths. Du Mingfeng replied, First Elder, your ladyship, think about it for a bit. Just how long has it been since the demon kings first appeared? The results of this battle just goes to show how terrifying their growth speed is. It's to the point where they've already become a major threat to Jontree City. That was indeed true. They managed to gain such power in just a single short month after all. The first elder's attitude was slightly shaken. If things went badly, then the demon kings may greatly threaten Jontree City. Even if they're not threatening Jontree City for the time being, they will still expand madly, devour the nearby tribes, and with that, affect the basic governance of Jontree City. Before now, every demon king was like a lone island and demon kings cannot sense one another. We were thus able to defeat them one at a time. This incident has shown a new change, however. That is also the direct reason why this subjugation failed. 2 demon kings have allied. When he heard that, the first elder visibly reacted. Demon kings grow terrifyingly fast from the start, but if the various demon kings were to join together into a united front, then the consequences are unthinkable. We cannot shrink back from this one failure. On the contrary, I need even more support. Only that way can we protect Jontree City. Therefore, I am officially asking Her Ladyship to grant me permission to lead an army to join with the Heroes Guild in order to subjugate these 2 demon kings. This matter cannot wait and must be dealt with as soon as possible. Du Mingfeng revealed his hand here. He will take advantage of the situation and use it to his own advantage. Although the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild is already quite powerful, if they can also borrow the strength of Jontree City, then they'll have no worries about taking down these 2 demon kings. This time, the demon subjugation army was completely crushed. However, that also ended up creating quite a commotion for Jontree City, which instead ended up putting quite a bit of pressure on the city's lord and the first elder. As an experienced business mogul, Du Mingfeng sharply used the crushing defeat this time to inflate the threat of the demon kings to drag Jontree City into the conflict. And it worked. After hearing his words, the first elder and the young city lord hesitated. The two of them simply knew too little about the Demon Kings. However, it's exactly because of their lack of understanding that they would end up even more suspicious and cautious about them. Plus, the rapid growth speed of the Demon Kings really was worrisome. The young city lord spoke hesitantly. I still think that we should try to approach the Demon Kings diplomatically first. We should first understand their thoughts and goals and only use the military if there's no other choice. Du Mingfeng sneered inside his mind. The young city lord was still as soft and indecisive as always. In the end, the decision for this matter still rests within the First Elder's hands. Du Mingfeng spoke, "My lady, the Demon King's strength grows by the day. We don't have much time left anymore." The First Elder considered it for a while before finally speaking. The Guardian Elf's words do have some logic to them. This forest is one that follows the law of the jungle from the start. My lady must not simply allow a threat to grow simply because you dislike war and end up causing irreversible consequences. Du Mingfeng immediately agreed, "That's right. It's necessary to engage in a small conflict in order to prevent a larger one. I am willing to take full responsibility for this matter." The First Elder asked, "How many men do you need?" Du Mingfeng thought it over before speaking, 8,000 elites. The First Elder frowned, "That's not a small number. You're certain that you can solve this issue?" Du Mingfeng replied, "I am certain. I will prove to Jiantree City at large that our actions here are the correct ones." The next day, Jiantree City called a council meeting. The city lord and the 8 elven elders all voted to decide on the matter. The final result of that vote was 1 abstain and 8 agreements. The only abstain was the city lord's vote. She keeps getting the feeling that there's a problem with such actions, but she lacked experience and was unable to say out loud just what the problem is, so she could only abstain. Jiantree City officially announced its partnership with the Heroes Guild, that they will be working with the iron-blooded heroes to defeat the Demon Kings in order to deal with the threat of Demon Kings and their rapid growth. An even bigger demon subjugation army was being assembled. Of their targets, the Myriad Flower Valley and Darkness Valley rank at the top as the Demon King nests that need to be dealt with right away. Du Mingfeng's plan went through quite smoothly. He had successfully utilized the shock from this horrid defeat to make known the threat of the Demon Kings, thus stimulating the worries of the higher-ups of Jiantree City and getting them to decide to deploy 1,000 soldiers. This army will all be under Du Mingfeng's exclusive command. The official elven army of Jiantree City is different from the warriors of the various forest tribes. All of them are well-trained and even the most basic combat units are level 1 elites. Of those 1,000 elite units, 1 out of every 20 of those elven soldiers is a level 2 elite existence. One can imagine just how powerful this army is. When the iron-blooded heroes learned of this, all of them were overjoyed. They never imagined that their guildmaster would be so capable, to forcefully change a disaster into an opportunity. From that point of view, Zhou Kun's sacrifice really was worth it. Jing Xiao immediately spoke up, "Boss, the time is ripe. I think we should deploy right away and attack the Darkness Valley. We'll get revenge in one go and completely remove this threat to our future." When he said that, the other iron-blooded heroes all showed their own agreement. The Demon King of Darkness Valley has been acting far too arrogant. They first killed a major potential recruit of the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild, Zhao Lei, then they annihilated an entire scouting army. Now, they stopped Zhou Kun's subjugation of the Flower Fey Demon King and even caused enormous damages to the guild. If they don't destroy him, then the iron-blooded heroes won't be able to take it anymore. This time, they'll show him just what the iron-blooded heroes can really do. What are you in such a rush for? Be it the Flower Fey Demon King or the Skydrake Demon King, their deaths are already set, like fish on a cutting board. All that's left now is just how to season them. Jing Xiao hurriedly asked, "Then, the guildmaster's plan is?" Du Mingfeng explained, "I plan on splitting our army into 2 and to attack the Myriad Flower Valley and Darkness Valley at the same time." When they heard that, everyone was stunned. Jing Xiao asked, "Dividing our forces? Why are we taking the risk of dividing our forces though? Isn't it better to take it safe and fight with our full force? Right now, we have the power to easily crush them." Du Mingfeng explained, "This is not only not a risk, but instead the way to best utilize our military advantage. Have you considered why the Skydrake Demon King went to save the Flower Fey Demon King in the first place?" Jing Xiao thought it over before speaking. "My guess is that the 2 Demon Kings are allied." Du Mingfeng nodded, "Not just that. The Flower Fey Demon King must be very important to the Skydrake Demon King. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gone as far as exposing himself." "Then, the Guildmaster means?" Darkness Valley is very disadvantageous terrain for any attackers, which makes the Demon King even stronger there. If we were to try to forcefully assault it, then we won't be able to avoid a great deal of losses. Thus, we're better off destroying the Flower Fey Demon King first. Du Mingfeng continued explaining, you and I will each take an army. I'll personally attack the Flower Fey Demon King. If the Sky Drake Demon King comes to save her, then you'll use that opportunity to assault the Darkness Valley. If the Sky Drake Demon King doesn't come, then I'll be able to easily take down the Flower Fey Demon King. So that's it. Jing Xiao finally understood it. The intent is to force the Sky Drake Demon King into a dilemma. There's no way that the Flower Fey Demon King could possibly stop Du Mingfeng's attack. If the Sky Drake Demon King was to come to help her, then he would be giving up the home field advantage to fight in unfamiliar territory, thus far lowering the threat of him and his army. Plus, once he leaves, the Darkness Valley is certain to be far emptier. Thus, Jing Xiao could use that opportunity to attack it and deal huge damages to the Darkness Valley. If he stays home to guard the Darkness Valley though, then it's basically equivalent to just watching the Flower Fey Demon King die without lifting a hand. That would definitely place a great deal of pressure on him in terms of morale and mental well-being. At that point, Du Mingfeng would have destroyed the Flower Fey Demon King and he would then be able to rendezvous with Jing Xiao to attack the Darkness Valley as one. Du Mingfeng spoke, the Flower Fey Demon King is specialized in production and logistics. If my guess isn't wrong, then that's where her value to the Darkness Valley comes from. Us destroying the Flower Fey Demon King is equivalent to temporarily cutting off the Darkness Valley supplies, which will temporarily weaken that Sky Drake. Jing Xiao nodded, brilliant, Guild Master. No matter what, those Demon Kings won't have any hope of turning the tables anymore. Our unification of this area is just a matter of time then. Du Mingfeng showed a satisfied smile at that. This upcoming demon subjugation battle is nothing much. His plans and ambitions aren't limited to just this. This time, he used the excuse of subjugating the Demon King to greatly increase his own authority and influence. Then, the next step will be Jiantree City's turn. The Elven Elders with the First Elder at the head are merely a bunch of ignorant country bumpkins after all. They won't be able to strut around for much longer. As for that soft young city lord? How could she possibly win against him? After he kills a few more Demon Kings, he'll start acting to kick the young city lord off of her position in charge of the city. That woman had no qualifications to order him about. She's more suitable to be made into his toy as part of his harem. After the meeting was done, Du Mingfeng continued making his preparations. He went into a secret vault all by himself. This vault contains a number of very important tools. All of them came from the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild's previous Demon King subjugations. They were valuable loot that came from Demon King treasure chests. Although Du Mingfeng had absolute confidence this time, his cautious nature made it so that he would still make perfect preparations just in case. Thus, he took two of the most valuable items within the vault. One of them is a scroll giving off an aura of spatial magic. It will be used to preserve his life at a critical moment. The other is an unremarkable-looking dark green stone. If one were to look carefully at it though, they'd discover that there's a green flame burning inside of that stone. Hellfire Magic Stone. This item is extremely powerful and indiscriminate in targeting. It's a final trump card to assure mutual annihilation in the most extreme circumstance. He hopes that it will never come in use. The next day, the armies set off from Jiantree City. Du Mingfeng led the 1,000-strong elven army toward the north. Their destination is the Myriad Flower Valley where the Flower Fey resides. At the same time, Jing Xiao had already gathered his own forces. He drew a great deal of men from various tribes that they controlled and led them south toward Darkness Valley. The young city lord personally watched at the army's left. She was currently frowning unhappily. When the First Elder saw that, he spoke, "My lady, I know you dislike battles, but there's nothing else that can be done to deal with those Demon Kings." Another Elven Elder agreed, "Yes. My lady, whether or not Demon Kings really are as evil and vicious as they've been described, it is certain that their existences are major threats to Jiantree City. Things have already reached this point, so the young city lord can't do anything about it either. She simply still has a bad premonition about Jiantree City's actions in attacking the Demon Kings without bothering to learn about them in detail or make any contact first." Late at night. Darkness Valley. On the high walls of the Demon King Castle, the Demon King stood with his hand behind his back. Two mighty guardian draconian generals respectfully stood at his side. Other than Zhang San, there's also a Wang Ar. Wang Ar is new, a second draconian general that Zhang Nu just summoned. Right now, even excluding Zhang Nu, his territory now has 3 full high-leveled Lord-level units, and all of them are quite strong among Lord units too. Other than them, the army itself was constantly expanding. At this point, the racial units have now reached 3,660 in total. Of them, there are 2,000 draconian laborers, 700 high laborers, 850 draconian soldiers, 80 high draconian soldiers, and 30 draconian battle mages. Besides them, he also has over 1,000 undead units, nearly 1,000 minotaurs, over 3,000 goblins, and a number of foxkin as well. In total, the territory's full population has reached 5 digits. This enormous number has gradually made the territory more and more prosperous. Right now, with the Demon King Castle as the center, the entire area around it were industrial zones. Over 1,000 skeletons transported materials while thousands of draconian laborers and minotaurs worked. With the castle as the center, a high-grade city in terms of both size and format was slowly taking shape. This will become the Demon King's capital in the future. Right at this moment, the draconian priestly see approached. "My lord, there is an emergency dispatch," Zhang Nu casually asked, most likely regarding the iron-blooded heroes. The draconian priestly see nodded, yes. The iron-blooded heroes have allied together with Jauntry City. They sent out 2 armies. One is attacking the Flower Fey Demon King, while the other is coming for us. The elves of Jauntry City have also joined in? Indeed so. Jauntry City has dispatched an army of 1,000 elves, all of them under the command of Jauntry City's guardian elf, who is also the guild master of the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild, Du Mingfeng. Right now, they're currently heading for the Flower Fey Demon King's territory. The other army is one assembled from the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild themselves, mainly formed from an alliance of warriors from multiple Tigerkin, Bearkin, and Wolfkin tribes. When Zhang Nu heard that, he was slightly surprised. The reaction of Jauntry City toward the Demon King was completely within expectations, but what he didn't expect was that Jauntry City would deploy their army that quickly. An elite army of 1,000 elves can't be considered weak even compared to Darkness Valley. There's no way that Flower Fey Chenguagua's territory could withstand such an attack. Yet, the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild was splitting their forces and sending their vice-captain Jing Xiao to head straight for the Darkness Valley. The draconian priest gave his analysis. Their motive for splitting their army is quite obvious. They must be trying to force us to split our focus and fight on 2 separate fronts. If we try to save the Flower Fey Demon King, then we'll end up weakening the defenses of Darkness Valley, and yet if we do not try to save her, then they'd be able to easily destroy her before coming for us. Zhang Nu nodded. What do you think then? The draconian priest gave his opinion with a sneer. Those Ents are so foolish yet arrogant. They have no idea just how terrifying my lord's true might is. From the draconian priest's point of view, such strategies are simply laughable. He spoke after thinking briefly. There's no need for my lord to act. This one and the 2 generals should already be more than enough to deal with them. Du Mingfeng is indeed quite capable, but he was deceived from the start. He started off assuming that the draconian priestly see was the Demon King, which directly made him underestimate the Darkness Valley. That was a deadly mistake. Du Mingfeng and the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild had never fully understood the truth of the Darkness Valley, and he understood the Demon King of Darkness Valley even less. I have no doubts as to the capabilities of you and the 2 generals. That said, based on the information I got, this Du Mingfeng is unlike other heroes. He should not be underestimated. After some brief considerations, Zhang Nu gave his orders. Li Si, Wang Ar, you are to lead 500 soldiers and 50 high soldiers to reinforce the myriad Flower Valley. There's no need to crush the army of Jauntry City, but you do need to make sure to protect the Flower Fey Demon King and hold back Du Mingfeng and his army. Yes, my lord. Zhang Nu then gave additional orders. Zhang San, you will lead the rest of the Draconian army, Undead army, and Minotaur army to ambush the hero army attempting to sneak attack the Darkness Valley. Yes, my lord. After giving his subordinates their orders, Zhang Nu wasn't planning on sitting idly either. Jauntry City and the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild, was it? If they're going to make an enemy of him, then he absolutely needs to teach them a heavy lesson. He'll be sure to make them experience the true dangers of the world. I'll leave the 2 battlefields to you. Zhang Nu spoke. I plan on personally giving Jauntry City a little visit using this opportunity. When they heard those words, his 3 high commanders all visibly reacted. The draconian priest was slightly concerned. My lord, Jauntry City is well defended. They do not lack for powerful elven defenders as powerhouses of various other races. Although you do bear great power, might going personally by yourself be a bit overly risky? Zhang Nu calmly replied, there's no need to worry. The 1,000 elite soldiers that Jauntry City had just sent out were all part of the city's defenses, so their defenses are certain to be weaker in the short term. Both of the highest leadership of the iron-blooded heroes have all deployed, so how many out of the heroes remaining in Jauntry City could possibly be of any threat to me? Jauntry City in its current state cannot possibly stop me. Zhang Nu's confidence came from his information advantage. Firstly, he could directly see hidden information, and secondly, he had the spy Su Yan who had been constantly sending him information over the past few days, so he had a very good understanding of Jauntry City right now. Besides, only by doing the unexpected can he catch his enemies off guard. Be it the authorities in charge of Jauntry City or the Heroes Guilds led by the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild, none of them would expect that something as unimaginable as the Demon King directly attacking Jauntry City could possibly happen, so there was no way anyone could have made any preparations against it. The Iron-Blooded Heroes have made trouble for him over and over, and now they even attempted to raid his home base. Zhang Nu really wanted to see what kind of face they'd make after they failed their own base raid, look back home, and see their own base utterly wrecked. Besides, by killing heroes, he can get more souls. Not only will killing more of them get him more souls, he'll also be able to instantly weaken the total hero forces in the nearby areas. There's no way any Demon King could possibly resist such a thing. As for Jauntry City? Since they decided to attack on their own accord, then they should reap the consequences for their decision. Again, Wang Ar is basically just Wang 2. At this point I really am kind of tempted to just shift all the names to Zhang 3, Li 4, and Wang 2, given that this naming scheme will just keep continuing on. The Jauntry City army had reached the Myriad Flowers Valley. Du Mingfeng was utterly confident. The battle on this day lacked any tension whatsoever. No matter how the Demon King of Darkness Valley chooses to respond, there's no way that the Flower Fae Demon King will be able to avoid her fate of destruction. After all, this particular Demon King subjugation army is completely unlike Zhou Kun's tribes from a few days ago. Even putting aside the difference between the disciplined and well-trained proper army of Jauntry City versus the mob made from various forest tribes, just the leadership alone was completely incomparable. Zhou Kun was a level 2 hero and his power is around that of a pseudo-lord level. While he might have been able to put up a decent fight against relatively weak level 2 lord units, he hasn't actually reached the realm of being a lord himself. But who is Du Mingfeng? He's the guild master of the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild, as well as being one of the guardian elves of Jauntry City. His strength is absolutely crushing compared to any other hero. He's a level 3 hero. And he has also reached the pseudo-lord level as well. What did this mean exactly? Although Du Mingfeng might not be able to fight seriously against a true level 3 lord, he'll have no problem at all against 5 level 3 elites at once. He's more than capable of fighting on equal terms against the strongest level 2 lords. All in all, he's undeniably a major big shot. Given all that, it's quite obvious that with such power, paired with the elite Jauntry City army, even if the Skydrake Demon King of Darkness Valley were attempt to come to the rescue, there still won't be any way that he'll be able to avert the Flower Fae Demon King and her nest's fate of being destroyed. Du Mingfeng wasn't worried about the Skydrake Demon King showing up at all. In fact, he's even looking forward to it a great deal. If this Demon King was to come with massive reinforcement, then he would have fallen right into Du Mingfeng's trap. The Skydrake Demon King is a top-quality level 2 lord, so he'll be quite a bit more difficult to fight on his home turf. Instead, he'll be far easier to fight against on foreign territory. Besides, if they really do start fighting, the Darkness Valley will certainly be far weaker. The heroes under Jingzhao's leadership were eager and ready, and as the vice-captain and the second in command of the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild, it's only natural that he's even stronger than Zhou Kun. With that level 2 lord hero leading them, while the Demon King and his elites are missing, their chances at a base raid are very good indeed. With that, the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild will be able to take down 2 powerful Demon Kings at once while spending the least amount of resources. As Du Mingfeng thought that, his lips curled up in a smirk. He cannot think of any possible way for the Demon King to reverse the situation. His side has the absolute advantage and the initiative, so there was no way that they could possibly lose. Scout the enemy forces. Yes, sir. Several level 2 elven mages activated the E-rank skill Clairvoyance. It's a long-distance detection type skill, allowing one to gather information about the enemy ahead of time. Sir, there's a massive amount of venomous flower fae. Other than those, there are also a large number of draconians and boarkin. Du Mingfeng's eyes lit up. Draconians? How many? The elven mage answered, based on the results of all of our observations, we estimate that there should be around 500 or so. That many? Du Mingfeng was surprised for a moment. Then, he started laughing loudly. Ha ha ha. Good, good. That idiot Drake has completely committed to protecting that flower fae. However, that's the best case for me. With that, he waved a hand. Send the Windchaser bird. The heroes immediately opened up the cage and released the bird. This bird is extremely fast and shot off like an arrow, quickly disappearing over the horizon. Windchaser bird is a low-level pet. It has the ability to cast wind magic, but its combat capabilities are very weak. Their extremely fast speed makes it so that they're commonly used to send messages. Jingxiao will soon receive the news and learn that the Darkness Valley is low on defenders, making it the perfect time to attack. Everyone! The Demon King nest is right before us. Du Mingfeng gave his orders, activate defenses. Begin the assault. Of Jiantree City's elven army, 300 of them are mages. The remaining 700 are elven warriors armed with both sword and bow. They're capable of magical combat, long-distance archery, or melee combat, so their overall combat capabilities are obvious. A number of powerful magic circles appeared. Magical shields quickly appeared, linking up with each other into a single hole and turning into an enormous magical barrier protecting the entire army. This is far stronger than normal shields. It both lacks any openings and is extremely tough. Du Mingfeng drew his sword and roared out, attack. Kill them all. The elven army started entering the valley. Venomous stingers constantly bombarded them and the giant guardians continuously threw boulders, but all of it was blocked by the magical barrier. A laughable attack. Du Mingfeng felt no pressure at all. The army easily passed through the entrance to the valley and entered its interior. At that moment, an army of draconians in formation appeared before them. The elven mage's long-distance scouting was only able to discover those draconians, but they had no way to appraise just how strong or weak those draconians are. When he saw this army, Du Mingfeng couldn't help but react slightly. Elites. They're all elites. Over 500 draconian soldiers, and even the weakest normal soldier among them are level 1 elite units. Of them, the high soldiers and battle mages are even stronger level 2 elites. How are they this strong? Isn't that Demon King a bit too powerful? Even Du Mingfeng ended up sucking in a breath at that. If he didn't borrow the Jiantree City's elven army, then just the strength that the iron-blooded heroes have assembled would have had a very hard time fighting against this army. Plus, Darkness Valley is extremely dangerous terrain. It's easy to defend and hard to attack. With an army like this within, it would be nearly impossible to storm from the outside. Even if they succeeded, they would have to pay an unbelievable price to do so. No wonder Zhao Lei and Zhou Kuan were so easily defeated. Du Mingfeng set aside his shock and grinned with dark anticipation. Ha ha ha. Truly, the heavens are with me. You're even more powerful than I had anticipated, but I'll use this chance today to crush you all in one go. At the moment, 3 figures were currently situated within the draconian army. One is the Flower Fae Demon King Chenguogua. She's only a level 2 elite and her specialization isn't in combat either, so in this battle, she can only act as support. As for the other 2, they were Li Si and Wang Ar. The draconian priest Li Si spoke, "We'll have to leave that guy for you to keep busy." The draconian general Wang Ar spoke firmly, "Don't worry. He is indeed quite strong, but with me here, he's not going to get anywhere near you. The draconian army will be able to remain undefeated so long as the field magic isn't interrupted." The draconian priest stabbed his staff into the ground, called up his great mental might, and released it into the environment around him, which quickly formed into a field-type magic. Healing field. The draconian priest started off with a support-type field spell. So long as the draconian army remains within the bounds of the field, their HP will quickly recover. With that, their combat power greatly improved. At the same time, the draconian general let out a roar and charged out from within the formation. His form quickly expanded and instantly turned into a black iron earth drake 3 meters tall and over 10 meters long as he charged into the Jiantree City army's formation. Under the attacks of several hundred venomous flower fays, the Jauntry City army's magic barrier had already been weakened by quite a bit. Thus, under the ferocious slam from the draconian general, the magic barrier instantly shattered like glass and several elves at the front were blown away. What's going on? Du Mingfeng reacted with alarm. Wasn't the Demon King supposed to be a sky drake? How did it suddenly become an earth drake? This is completely different from his information. Weakening field. Death field. The draconian priest continued to complete the formation of his field spells. 2 new fields enveloped the area within nearly 1,000 meters, and all the enemy army that was within that area were stuck with the effects of the debuffs. Du Mingfeng had noticed the field come up, so he naturally also noticed the draconian priest in the center of those field effects. The draconian general Wang Ar ignored all other attacks and charged straight at Du Mingfeng in his earth drake form before swinging a vicious claw attack at him. With a clang, Du Mingfeng blocked that attack with his sword. He had an ugly look on his face as he asked, "Just who is the Demon King of Darkness Valley?" Wang Ar laughed as he taunted, "What need is there for our lord to appear just to deal with some worthless weaklings? A few of us servants are already more than enough." When he heard those words, Du Mingfeng reacted as if he was struck by lightning. He felt like a bucket of cold water was poured on him. He felt a chill from top to bottom, both inside and out. The draconian priest's powerful bloodline and the great might that he had displayed made the heroes misunderstand from the start. Even Du Mingfeng had thought that he was definitely the Demon King. Yet, only now did Du Mingfeng finally realize that he had been under the wrong impression from the start. The Demon King may not have even shown up. From start to end, the one that the iron-blooded heroes have fought was merely the Demon King's subordinate. But that's just unreasonable though. Why is even the subordinate this strong? Be it that Sky Drake priest or this Earth Drake general, both of them can be considered among the very strongest among even the Demon Kings for the current period. Could it be that the draconian general was lying to purposefully mislead him? But what would be the point of that? Shit. Du Mingfeng realized that his mistaken strategy may very well end up causing major problems for him. Not long after the Battle of Myriad Flower Valley had begun, the iron-blooded hero's army was traversing through the Darkness Canyon. Jing Xiao had already received the message from the Windchaser bird, so he knew that the Darkness Valley had sent heavy reinforcements to help the Flower Fey Demon King, and the nest itself must be very weakly defended. It was a heaven-blessed chance, so how could he possibly pass it up? However, at this moment, the 5 towers of grudges appeared and started operating. Hundreds of grudge ghosts filled the air over the canyon. This caused some commotion among the heroes, but these heroes are all fairly experienced, so they quickly calmed back down. Don't panic. It's just the Demon King's defensive structure. Everyone, forward. Destroy those worthless towers. Jing Xiao directed his army in preparation to attack the towers of grudges, but at that moment, around 1,000 skeletons appeared from both ends of the canyon and flooded in. At the same time, up on the high ground, draconian battle mages, skeleton mages, and minotaur priests appeared one after another. In nearly the blink of an eye, Jing Zhao's army was completely surrounded. Fuck. Boss, it's bad. We're surrounded. Where did so many undeads come from? Jing Xiao was shocked as well, but he hurriedly attempted to calm the army down and restore order. Everyone, don't be afraid. The Demon King's elites are all away from the valley. While these skeletons are numerous, they're just cannon fodder. This calmed the army down and restored morale somewhat. That's right. Kill them. The vast majority are all skeleton soldiers. Those weak mobs are easily crushed. Although it was a bit disadvantageous being heavily surrounded, the elite warriors of the hero army are all very experienced, so they wouldn't end up freezing in fear. Besides which, in this situation, it's not like they can retreat either way, so they had no choice but to push forward regardless. Jing Xiao swung his great sword and smashed through 20 to 30 skeleton soldiers in one go like he's reaping stalks of wheat. Then he went on to cut down several skeleton commanders. At that moment, a large blade was swung right at him, and Jing Xiao was forced several meters back. Oh shit. There's a strong one. The draconian general Zhang San came forth and pulled his polearm from where it was stabbed into the ground. Just you worthless weaklings think you can threaten the Darkness Valley? His gaze was freezing cold. That said, since you're already here, there's no need to go anymore. None of you are leaving here. As he spoke, the draconian army entered the battle. Although the draconian priest had taken the vast majority of the draconian soldiers with him, several hundred were still left behind, and they were not to be underestimated while under the leadership of a draconian general. Besides which, They have the terrain advantage plus undead army plus towers of grudges plus minotaur units acting as support here. How were the heroes supposed to fight against that? Jing Zhao's army were all assembled from various native tribes. This army's discipline and ability to work in tandem can't even compare to that of the Jiangtree City army. He never imagined that he'd end up facing this much resistance when he came to the Darkness Valley. Something's wrong here. Given the formation that had welcomed them, it was obvious that the Darkness Valley was completely prepared for them. They knew far in advance that the demon subjugation army would come. How did the Darkness Valley have such detailed understanding of the Hero Guild's secret movements? The deployment of this army was kept a secret after all. Could it be that they were infiltrated? Jing Xiao had no time to think about it. That's because Zhang San was already swinging at him with his polearm. Although Jing Xiao did have the strength of a level 2 lord, he was still obviously losing against the draconian general. Jing Xiao was forced back after just 4 or so exchanges of blows. The draconian army swarmed forward and the heroes and demon subjugation army completely lost cohesion. The two battles started at nearly the same moment. While both sides were fighting furiously, Jiangtree City was still as calm and peaceful as always. The elven elders were all awaiting news from Du Mingfeng. As for the result of the battle? That's something that they never had any doubts about. The official Jiangtree City army was the one deployed this time, so there was no way that they could possibly lose. Thus, they just need to wait for the good news. At this moment, the young lord was sitting in her study. She started getting a strange jittery feeling. The young lord was born with very sharp and powerful instincts. Given her experiences from countless previous events, this feeling that she got was practically a premonition. Something bad had likely happened. Just as she thought, they shouldn't have been so reckless. She should have stopped the military action back then. But now, the arrow has already been loosened. It's already too late for regrets. All she can do now is pray for the protection of the goddess of nature in hopes that it won't end up a major problem. At this moment, without any prior signs. Roar! A roar filled with kingly majesty filled the air. The entire Jiangtree City shook from it. The peace and quiet here was completely shattered. Countless clouds blocked off the sun and cast their shadow over Jiangtree City. Lightning flashed within those clouds and every bolt of lightning was an inauspicious scarlet. Dragon! It's a dragon! A dragon is attacking. The soldiers and citizens of Jiangtree City were shocked to discover that a mysterious and majestic-looking dragon over 30 meters tall and covered in dark gold scales was flying toward them through those thunderclouds. Killing intent and dragon fear enveloped the sky and earth alike. The sheer pressure from it made it hard to breathe. Everyone could clearly feel just how terrifying and powerful this being was. This powerful being's target was clear. It was attacking Jiangtree City. It dropped like a meteor from the heavens and viciously slammed into the barrier. Boom! The entire city shook. The shaking was as intense as an earthquake. The dragon was attacking the city. Terror spread. At that moment, everyone could clearly feel just how terrifying and powerful this dragon was. However, just how did Jiangtree City manage to provoke such a being? Zhang Nu used to keep a very low profile. It was all for the sake of a stable development environment. Now though, the early game development period is nearly over. What development that should have been done has basically all been done, so it's only natural his strategy should change with it and he should do what a demon king is supposed to do. From this moment onwards, Zhang Nu shall have these forest residents shake in terror. Du Mingfeng had drawn away 1,000 elites, so Jiangtree City's defenses will definitely be weakened. However, this city has a great deal of power saved up from its long history, so it wouldn't be so easily caught off guard. The dragon had just started its attack and it was already immediately met with a fierce counterattack. One elven guard mage after another immediately started casting. Flames, wind blades, and lightning continuously struck like rain. At the same time, one magic tower after another activated and those towers continuously shot out magic beams. The attacks were dense, lacking in blind spots, and thus are impossible to dodge. In this situation, a normal level 2 lord would have been instantly slain. Even a level 3 lord might not have been able to withstand it. There's no way that Jiangtree City hasn't been met with major crises in the past. The fact that it was able to stand within the forest for several hundred years was already enough to prove its strength. Don't panic, everyone. Jiangtree City has a barrier protecting it. He won't be able to easily get in. Yeah, Jiangtree City is full of powerhouses. Even a dragon won't be able to truly threaten us. He's just committing suicide here. Jauntry City's rapid reaction and the defenses and counterattacking capability that it's showing greatly reassured the citizens of Jauntry City. However, some had noticed that something doesn't seem right. Even under such a dense baptism of magic attacks, every single scale on the dragon was still as good as new. It's as if what it was taking wasn't powerful magical attacks but a child's toy squirt gun. -0. -0. -0. He didn't feel a thing. Zhang Nu even actually felt a bit comfortable. This is the effect of the medium anti-magic. Unless all the attacks were concentrated into one and hit all at once, the power of those spells were nowhere near enough to break through his defenses. If every single hit only deals 0 damage, then what's the point no matter how many attacks there are? 1,000,000 or 10,000,000 0 added together will still be 0. Zhang Nu let out a thunderous flap of his wings and charged right at Jauntry City again while enduring the dense spells and beams. This city barrier is very strong. Not even a body slam from a dragon could break through. Zhang Nu did not try to push through with raw strength again. Instead, he opened his mouth and breathed out a large wave of black energy. It spread out like a mass of ink and covered the area around him. Abyssal Devour. This is the level 2 Devour talent. The thick black fog isn't actually fog. The fog-like blackness is a kind of energy. This is a very rare element, a devouring energy type that only abyssal dragons can control. This energy can be used to attack or defend. When Zhang Nu released that ink-like pitch-black devouring energy, this energy quickly spread out in the air and then completely absorbed all the magic attacks like an extremely powerful sponge. In fact, when it touched the barrier of Jauntry City, it corroded a large hole in the barrier. Zhang Nu dove right in using this opportunity. When he successfully got inside the barrier, the attacks coming at him increased in intensity, and a large number of arrows even got mixed in. Zhang Nu surrounded himself with the black energy to cover him like a layer of armor. Any attacks, be it physical or magical, were completely absorbed on impact. Quickly, as it absorbed enough attacks, this energy also quickly became saturated and the black energy gradually turned into a dark red hue. Zhang Nu held this energy and quickly flew over Jauntry City's skyline. As he passed, abyssal lightning continuously fell, forcing the citizenry to run every which way in panic. Zhang Nu had no interest in those normal citizens. He just found them annoying, so he was just casually driving them away. Under the aid of his cheats information displays, he had already successfully locked onto the headquarters of the Heroes Guild. He gathered up all the energy that he had devoured and at the same time furiously invested his own MP into it. Finally, it combined into a powerful attack. Be annihilated. The abyssal dragon roared. Hundreds of bloody lightning bolts blasted out. In that instant, countless bolts of lightning brilliant enough to blind flowed forth like a torrent, lighting up an entire street. Boom! The guild headquarters was instantly reduced to ash. Only an enormous crater was left. You've slain a level 1 hero. Soul plus. You've slain a level 1 hero. Soul plus 1. You've slain a level 1 hero. Soul plus 1. You've slain a level 1 hero. Soul plus 1. Zhang Nu didn't know just how many heroes that one attack killed. His player menu was already overflowing with messages after all. One could say that Jauntry City's Heroes Guild was done for. The entirety of Jauntry City's hero faction was heavily crippled. Zhang Nu was not just satisfied with that though. He also locked onto the iron-blooded Heroes Guild's headquarters and a flaming pillar of dragon flame fell upon it like a waterfall. In that instant, the Heroes Guild headquarters was completely turned into a sea of flames. You've slain a level 1 hero. Soul plus 1. You've slain a level 2 hero. Soul plus 1. You've slain a level 1 hero. Soul plus 1. You've slain a level 2 hero. Soul plus 1. This time, the ones that died were all heroes of the iron-blooded Heroes Guild. Their quantity wasn't as high as that of the other Heroes Guild, but their quality was obviously on a different level. Given Zhang Nu's rampage through Jauntry City, destroying buildings and slaughtering heroes, there was no way that he could have gone unnoticed. Enough! Stop it! Don't destroy Jauntry City anymore. Several powerful presences rushed toward him. Zhang Nu scanned where those presences came from. The 4 at the front were all level 3 units. Jauntry City Guardian Elf, Celas. Level 3 Elite Unit. Skills, Tempest Chi, C rank, Tempest Annihilation / C rank, Tornado Strike, C rank, etc. Description: one of the 4 Guardian Elves of Jauntry City. Specializes in close combat martial arts. Very strong. Be careful of his sword. Jauntry City Lord, Nancilia. Level 3 Lord Unit. Skills, Elf King Bloodline, Talon Skill, Elemental Contract, B rank, Starlight Shield, B rank, Teleportation, B rank, Meteor Rain, B rank, Meteoric Arrow, B rank, etc. Description: the current City Lord of Jauntry City. Although she's still a young and immature elf, due to the fact that she had inherited the bloodline of the Elf King, she has exceptional power. Not only is she skilled in all kinds of magic, she's also skilled in archery. Her personality is soft, indecisive, considerate, and kind, which is one of her major weaknesses. The 3 guardian elves were all level 3 elites. This level of power is of little concern, and Zhang Nu found them beneath his notice. However, that little girl at the front seriously shocked Zhang Nu. For her to have reached the level of a level 3 lord, and for her to actually be the city lord of Jauntry City. The young city lord angrily demanded, "Why are you attacking Jauntry City?" Zhang Nu let out a thunderous reply, "Jauntry City sent out its soldiers to attack my territory, so why should I not fight back and attack Jauntry City back? Or are you saying that you attacking us is allowed while the reverse isn't?" The young city lord was shocked. You're the Demon King. Correct. Zhang Nu answered her with a furious blast of dragon flame. The 3 guardian elves didn't dare to take it head-on, so they all dodged out of the way, leaving just the young city lord to face it on her own. Oh no! The young city lord has teleportation magic. If she wanted to dodge, then she definitely could. It would have been easy for her. However, in that case then, that terrifying blast of dragon flame would definitely land in the middle of the city, striking the street, houses, and even the innocent citizens. Just how much damage would that end up doing? She couldn't allow the city to be destroyed even further. The young city lord grit her teeth, activated defensive magic, and countless stars gathered to her and formed into a powerful magic shield. It was able to forcefully hold off the dragon flame attack. Oh? This little girl was very strong, just as he thought. This is the first time that he had encountered an opponent capable of resisting the dragon flames. However, Zhang Nu just had a cunning grin on his face. Although the Elven City Lord is very powerful, to the point where even he would need to spend a lot of energy if he wanted to defeat her in a one-on-one duel with his current strength. Even if he did win, the other side could teleport, so he'd be unlikely to capture her. However, the Elven City Lord is overly concerned about the safety of the city. That was why she would rather directly pit her strength against the dragon flame rather than dodging. She very much has the magical might capable of damaging Zhang Nu, but high-ranked magic is overly powerful, so she didn't dare to use them for the same reason. In this situation, she couldn't show her true strength at all, so how could she possibly fight against the super-powerful Great Demon King before her? The dragon flame continued to burn. The starlight shield quickly faded. The young city lord's little face was red with exertion. She was gritting her teeth as she tried to hold on, but she was on the verge of failing. At this moment, the dragon flame attack finally ended. However, before the young city lord could even let out a breath, she was shocked to discover that the dragon before her had disappeared. What's going on? Where did he get to? Just then, a guardian elf loudly shouted out, "Behind you, my lady." The Demon King had transformed into draconian form at some moment. He also imbued himself with the wind blessing and charged at her like a bolt of lightning. The Elven City Lord was unable to react in time, and Zhang Nu had put a bracelet on her wrist. This is the sealing bracelet that he got from the treasure chest from conquering the goblin tribe. He originally thought of it as a useless item, but he didn't anticipate finding a use for it here. Oh no! The Elven City Lord could clearly feel her magical abilities being rapidly suppressed. Zhang Nu reached out and grabbed her. Then, before the other elves could react, he immediately flapped his wings and quickly escaped the forces surrounding him. Oh no! Her ladyship has been caught. The 3 guardian elves were panicking. The elven elders who arrived later on were also stunned after hearing of the news. Impossible! While the city lord was young, no one who bore the Elf King's bloodline could possibly be weak. Instead, she had to be one of the strongest among the strong within Jauntry City. She wouldn't have been able to become the lord of the city otherwise. Who the heck could believe that a personage like that could have been kidnapped in the middle of the city? The first elder finally arrived, but when he heard such nightmarish news, he nearly fainted from sheer rage. This is the only descendant of the Elf King of Chaos Forest. If anything were to happen to her, then the revitalization of the elven race would be done for. Save her ladyship. No matter the cost. We have to rescue her. The first elder raised his staff with anger and summoned up a flame serpent over 100 meters long, which struck at Zhang Nu like a blazing dragon. Another level 3 lord. Jiantree City truly is filled with powerhouses. This is not somewhere I can tarry. Zhang Nu held the elf city lord with his left hand while releasing the inky black fog with his right to act as a shield to block the giant flame serpent. Abyssal devouring. The flame serpent dove right into the black fog but was completely sucked in without the slightest struggle, like it had entered a black hole. The guardian elves and elders all chased after Zhang Nu to try to take back the city's lord. In response, Zhang Nu once again released the energy devoured right back at them. Countless blasts of flames hurled back like rain, and among said rain was also hundreds of bolts of scarlet abyssal lightning. The pursuers didn't care to try to take it head-on. Besides which, their lady was currently in the Demon King's hand, so they didn't dare to attack with their full power either. Given all that, how could they possibly have stopped the Demon King? Zhang Nu used the opportunity he gained while the elves clumsily dealt with his attacks and left in a showy manner right before everyone's shocked eyes. This assault was just too sudden. The entire process, from when the Demon King appeared to cause chaos, to him capturing the city lord, and then leaving, the entire thing took less than 3 minutes in total. Zhang Nu's goals were very clear here. He placed getting revenge on the heroes as his first priority, which is why he flattened the Heroes Guild and the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild's headquarters right at the start. As for capturing the city lord, that was just an unexpected gain. Zhang Nu checked the information. He knew that this elf was by no means simple. Not only is she the ruler of Jiantree City, she also bears the inheritance of the Elf King. Thus, her existence is extremely important to the elven race. With her captured and acting as a hostage, the elves would need to act carefully. With the threat of killing the hostage, there's no way that Jiantree City would dare to threaten Darkness Valley anymore. In the end, they would have no choice but to accept diplomatic talks and agree to various unfair conditions. He really lucked out. Originally, he just wanted to teach the heroes a vicious lesson, and if he could also take that chance to get some souls, that would be all the better. He never expected that not only would he get more than what he intended, he even unexpectedly managed to pick up quite a treasure. This trip really was worth it. Of course, Zhang Nu did use up quite a bit of strength in that fight. Jiantree City's might was not to be looked down upon. He activated the blood sacrifice skill to spend his HP to recover his MP, and then he used his healing skill to spend MP to recover HP. As he did this over and over a few times, Zhang Nu's condition gradually returned to his perfect state. "Release me!" Nancilia continued to shout and struggle while in Zhang Nu's claws. This little ruler was extremely scared right now. Since all her skills were sealed, she isn't able to use any of her skills or abilities and is completely at Zhang Nu's mercy. She was very upset. While she did have a bad premonition about it, there was no way she could have imagined that the Demon King would be so arrogant as to directly attack Jiantree City. And for her, the great ruler of Jiantree City, the one that everyone looks up to be kidnapped by the Demon King of all things. That truly was humiliating. Nancilia is soft and indecisive, so she wasn't a competent leader, but as one who bears the Elf King's bloodline, she is prideful from her very bones, so how could she possibly accept such humiliating treatment? Thus, despite being afraid, the greater part of her was more humiliated and angry. "Release me, you damnable Demon King!" Nancilia's little face was crimson with exertion. She attempted to pull the clamp-like claws around her, but all her effort was completely pointless and all she could do was uselessly hammer away with her little fists. Zhang Nu just laughed, "Ha ha ha. You're the loser, so what right do you have to make any demands? After all, I could crush you into paste at any moment." When she heard him call her a loser, Nancilia got mad. "I won't accept that result. I couldn't use my full abilities in Jiantree City. Fight me again if you're really strong. I absolutely won't lose to you again." "Ha! Empty boasting." Nancilia's level is indeed higher than Zhang Nu, but level doesn't completely determine actual power. Nancilia is a level 3 Lord unit, but Zhang Nu is at least a level 2 Pseudo-King. In a one-on-one duel, Nancilia's chances of winning aren't all that high. Of course, she has the ability to teleport, so if they really were to fight again, then Zhang Nu wasn't confident in being able to capture her alive again. Given how valuable a hostage she is, he would seriously lose out if he accidentally killed her or allowed her to escape. Nancilia's eyes shifted cunningly and she attempted to challenge Zhang Nu's pride. "You won against me unfairly, and you refused to fight me in a fair fight. Isn't it because you're afraid? It's unfair, I won't accept it. I don't accept that as my loss even if you killed me. Brat, stop it with your meaningless tricks. Do you really think that I'm an idiot? Zhang Nu won't fall for such a low-leveled appeal to his pride, and he spoke as he sped up. You had better be good and cooperate. Otherwise, I'll head right back and slaughter 1,000 of your people and burn them to ash right before you. What? Nancilia's eyes widened and glared. Only then did she suddenly discover that they seemed to be heading in the wrong direction. This demon king should have originated from the Darkness Valley to the south, but he's currently flying northward. He's heading for the Myriad Flowers Valley. Nancilia froze in fear. Right now, 1,000-strong Jauntry City army was currently in the Myriad Flowers Valley to subjugate the demon king there. If they get attacked by this terrifying guy, then the consequences would be unthinkable. A point of note. Jauntry City has at least 50 to 100 level 3 powerhouses. They also had the powerful barrier protecting the city as well as numerous magic towers, ballista towers, and various other defensive structures. Even so, the Demon King was still able to withdraw unharmed. That elven army is currently out in the open, and they're also currently in the middle of battle against another Demon King. If they get attacked by the dragon in this situation, they wouldn't have any hope of surviving. Don't kill my people. If you have to kill someone, then kill me instead. Zhang Nu really found it laughable. That girl really didn't have the aptitude to be a ruler. While a true ruler doesn't necessarily have to be cold-blooded and merciless to her opponents, it's completely stupid to try to trade her own life for that of her subordinates. The fact that she tried just shows her incompetence. Whether or not I kill them depends on your behavior. Zhang Nu was very fast, so the Myriad Flower Valley was already right before them. The sound of battle was audible. The battle is still ongoing and no conclusion has been reached yet. He had arrived at just the right time. He first flew up above and swept over the battlefield. The situation below was about what he had anticipated. Du Mingfeng was indeed worthy of being the guild master for the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild. He had the strength to fight the Draconian general one-on-one and was even slightly winning. Jauntry City's army was nearly double the size of the Draconians fighting against them. The Draconian army on the Demon King's side only numbers around 500 or so, but thanks to the Draconian priest's support as well as the Draconian general's leadership skills, their fighting power more than doubled, making them easily capable of matching the army from Jauntry City. Besides which, Flower Fey Demon King Chenguoguo wasn't just there as decoration either. She has very powerful recovery and support skills, and she also continuously directed her venomous Flower Fey to act as rain support. The Demon King's side obviously had the advantage and was pushing the Jauntry City army back. However, from the looks of it, while the Demon King's side did have a large advantage, they wouldn't have an easy time actually reaching a decisive victory either. The Elven army is a well-trained professional army. They're not like the mob that an alliance of tribal warriors would be, who would end up collapsing the moment things turn against them. At this moment, under Du Mingfeng's commands, the elves escaped the bounds of the Draconian priest's field effects and switched from offense to defense. They used their magic and archery to fight while maneuvering in an organized fighting retreat. Zhang Nu evaluated them. Your Jauntry City's elven army really is quite competent. I wonder how long they'd be able to withstand my dragon flame though. Nancilia was rather panicked. Don't kill them, Demon King. I'll agree to any condition. Zhang Nu spoke. Oh? Is that so? Oh dear. Nancilia, that's exactly the wrong thing to say here. This is how you get Dojin bad ends, you know. Du Mingfeng's bad feeling was getting stronger and stronger. With the Draconian priest, Draconian general, and the Draconian army there, they made the originally easy-to-annihilate Flower Fey Demon King into an exceptionally hard target. The worst part of it is, be it the Draconian general before him or the Draconian priest at the back, it's possible that neither of them were the Demon King at all and were instead just the Demon King's subordinates. If that really is the case, then the situation looks bad. No matter how much Du Mingfeng didn't want to believe that worst-case guess, the chances of said guess turning true is also very high, which would render this current battle meaningless. They have little choice but to retreat then. Du Mingfeng seized an opportunity. Just as he was about to announce a retreat, however, an enormous pressure swept across the area from the sky. It instantly made all the elves there freeze in shock, and even Du Mingfeng himself was affected by the dragon fear. My lord. The Draconian priest and Draconian general immediately bowed. Flower Fey Chenguoguo's eyes widened. What? Boss personally came? She hurriedly raised her head to search for him. At that moment, a powerful and majestic-looking figure appeared right over the battlefield. Because it was too far away and had the sun behind it, there was no way to clearly see his face. However, everyone clearly felt the powerful pressure on them and Chingwugwa turned excited. This is real. Really, as expected of the boss. This aura is incomparable. Chingwugwa's eyes practically had stars in them. Her excitement is like that of a fan seeing their idol. Du Mingfeng's face turned cold though. What a terrifying presence. What a powerful aura. Looking at the Draconian's behavior, there's no room for any doubt. Humph. So you're the Demon King of Darkness Valley? The Demon King's powerful voice came, correct. If you surrender now, you deluded fools, you may still have the chance to live. Surrender? Don't you think that's laughable? Du Mingfeng's thoughts raced. The Demon King himself finally appeared. This kind of chance is extremely rare, so why not take this chance and throw everything at him? Even if it ends up costing the lives of the entire elven army here. So long as it kills this terribly difficult and unknown Demon King, then that price is completely worth it. After all, right now, the Demon King is the only being capable of threatening him in this area. Even if the loss of this elven army makes him lose the chance to be the deputy city lord, or even his status as a guardian elf, that's still worth it. Du Mingfeng is confident in his strength and ability. He has countless methods to rise up again. Jiantree City will be his sooner or later. Everyone, listen. This is the moment where your loyalty is tested. Jiantree City will have no peace so long as this Demon King exists. For the city lord, for our people, for our home, we have to slay this threat, even if it costs us all our lives. Under Du Mingfeng's speech, the elves resolved themselves for death. These elves are pretty strong to begin with, and they're also utterly loyal to Jiantree City. Du Mingfeng has faith that so long as they concentrate fire, there's no way the Demon King can get away unscathed no matter how strong he is. Even if that still isn't enough in the end, he still has his last resort. Either way, he has to kill that Demon King on this day. Zhang Nu laughed, however, most courageous. However, before you attack, how about you take a look and see who this is? Zhang Nu grabbed a person. Or, more accurately, he grabbed an elf. Ah, her ladyship. It's her ladyship, the city lord. Oh no, her ladyship was captured. The elves there immediately started falling into chaos. Du Mingfeng also showed a disbelieving expression. The Demon King is holding the city lord hostage? How is this possible? The young city lord never leaves Jiantree City, so there's no way this is possible unless the Demon King had directly assaulted Jiantree City to capture her. However, that's even more impossible. Jiantree City is protected by a barrier. Beyond that, it also had enormous amounts of defenses and many powerhouses on standby. The young city lord is exceptionally powerful herself, so there's no way anyone could deal with all that. With the hostage shown, the elves didn't dare to do anything out of fear that harm might come to the hostage. No one dared to attack anymore. It made the morale that had just risen up despite the difficulty immediately fall to the bottom. Du Mingfeng immediately shouted, "Don't be fooled everyone. This is a trick from the Demon King. How could he possibly capture her ladyship? Ignore it. Attack already." When they heard that, the elves hesitated in uncertainty. At this point, Zhang Nu spoke to Nancilia, "You should know what to do now, right?" Nancilia grinded her teeth. After a brief bit of mental turmoil, she spoke, "Stop. You're no match for him. Don't increase the number of meaningless casualties. I permit you all to lower your weapons and surrender." With that, it's basically confirmed that it's no illusion or puppet. This is the real, except no substitute, city lord of Jiantree City. Although Nancilia felt extremely unwilling and humiliated, she had no other choice than to do what she just did. Otherwise, none of her people here would be able to keep their lives. She had personally experienced the Demon King's might after all. Although Nancilia seriously considered her loss an unfair one, she did have to admit that this Demon King's physical and magical defenses are unbelievably high. Despite the concentrated attacks of Jiantree City, he was still able to leave completely unharmed. Nancilia did not think that a mere 700 to 800 elves would be able to threaten him. Besides which, the Draconian and Flower Fae armies were still just waiting for an opportunity not so far away. They were currently closing in and were getting ready to perform an encirclement. They had no chance of winning. In order to protect them, this is the only choice she could make. If they don't surrender now, then they really won't have the chance anymore. Nancilia spoke out in a commanding tone, "Lay down your weapons." The elves are extremely loyal to their lady and the city lord has said this much. Thus, after a brief moment exchanging glances with each other, they decided to throw away their weapons in the end. Stop that. What are you doing? How can you yield to the Demon King? Du Mingfeng lost control over his emotions and turned furious. The elven warriors just looked at each other. All of them wanted to stare at Du Mingfeng like he's an idiot. Are you a freaking idiot? Don't you see that her ladyship is being held hostage? All elves know that the young city lord has the bloodline of the elf king. Her existence, in some ways, is even more important than Jiantree City itself. Du Mingfeng is a hero first and foremost though, and he had emphasized the threat of the Demon King over and over. However, before this, the Demon King had never taken any actions against Jiantree City. The current result is all because of the heroes provoking the war with the Demon King. Useless trash. I knew that I couldn't depend on you. Du Mingfeng's gaze turned dark. Although he didn't want to use this trump card, he had no other choice now with how things currently are. His expression suddenly turned vicious and cruel. In that case then, all of you can go and die. Zhang Nu suddenly detected a bit of abnormal magical disturbance. He couldn't take things lightly. Du Mingfeng is no ordinary hero. He has killed at least a dozen demon kings after all. The Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild have killed at least several dozen demon kings. Thus, with so many demon kings, they must have gained countless treasures from it. Thus, Du Mingfeng likely has an extreme level of versatility in terms of talent, skills and special items. As the leader of a heroes guild, he definitely has a lot of trump cards hidden away. Zhang Nu raised a hand to blast out a bolt of lightning, but the instant it was about to strike Du Mingfeng, a magic scroll activated, warping the space around him. In that instant, Du Mingfeng vanished. Zhang Nu frowned. Teleportation scroll? A hero on that level had lots of options, as expected. With this kind of instantaneous spatial teleportation scroll, not even he, as strong as he is, could prevent an escape unless he somehow got his hands on a way to seal and lock down dimensional space. Just then, Nancilia let out a gasp. Oh no! Run away, quick! A dark green stone was left where Du Mingfeng used to be before his teleportation. That dark green stone had a large number of cracks on the surface, and a great deal of ominous-looking green flames erupted out, instantly lighting up over a dozen elves around it. Awful screams rang out, the flames spread and grew like mad, and elves fell. The green flames acted intelligently like it was alive, and it purposefully spread out in multiple directions to reach out and spread itself to new targets. In the blink of an eye, it had spread from a dozen or so elves to several tens of elves. They were all covered in flames that couldn't be put out no matter what they did. Those flames quickly spread like an infectious plague. Nancilia's face was chalk white. It's over. That's hellfire which burns its target's MP as fuel. This kind of magical fire cannot be put out by normal means. It will break apart and spread out uncontrollably for some time and consume all nearby targets with MP. Given the speed that it's showing, the entire elven army would be burning within a minute at most and be burned alive by those flames that stuck to them like glue. Plus, until the flames go out on their own, they will continue to spread like dandelion seeds, allowing them to cover everything in an area over a dozen kilometers around. In just a few minutes, all targets that can be burned within that area will be lit on fire and burned to death. It's a kind of indiscriminate and very vicious attack method without any regard to friend or foe. Du Mingfeng had used the entire elven army as fuel for the flames to increase its spread. When the hellfire grows large enough, it would be able to consume the myriad Flower Valley's army and even the Demon King and young city lord as well. Kill them all in one go and leave no one alive to speak of it. That was the best result for Du Mingfeng. If that happened, then the use of the extremely valuable magic stone would have been more than worth it. Nancilia was anxious beyond words. She could never have imagined that the guardian elf Du Mingfeng would have used such a vicious tactic. Not only did he sacrifice the entire elven army, he even attempted to kill her as well. Zhang Nu considered the pros and cons of intervening, but in the end, he did still raise a hand and released a mass of black fog at the spreading green flames. Abyssal devouring. Zhang Nu absorbed the hellfire on the elves, disappearing those magical flames and successfully saving the lives of those elves. Nancilia was stunned. The Demon King gave up on chasing down his target and decided to save those elves instead. Why did the Demon King, described as unimaginably evil, save them? Yet the guardian elf of Jiantree City, after gaining the status of a chosen hero, turned so vicious and unscrupulous? Are Demon Kings really unforgivably evil? Do heroes really represent justice? Nancilia felt confused. Maybe the situation isn't actually like what she had thought. When it comes down to it, she had never really understood the beings known as demon kings or heroes. Boss! Chunguogwa flapped her wings as she flew up to him. The Flower Fae Demon King has a very petite body. She has a green dress on and wears a crown on her head. Along with her pair of butterfly wings, she's really cute looking. Chunguogwa was very excited at this first offline meeting. The boss looked even more amazing and cool than she had thought. It made her feel quite safe. Zhang Nu asked, "How's the situation on your side?" Chunguogwa replied, "Thanks to your help, boss, there wasn't much damage." Zhang Nu spoke, "Your territory is simply too weak. I suggest that you just focus completely on production and leave all defenses to my side." Any other demon king would likely have a very hard time agreeing to a demand like that. To abandon all combat units and just devote everything to production is extremely risky. As for trusting another demon king to provide all defenses for their territory, isn't that basically equivalent to handing their own life to the other person? Yes. Chunguogwa agreed without hesitation though. She trusts Zhang Nu very much. Besides which, it was basically impossible for her to hold off powerful factions like the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild or Jauntry City no matter what she does anyway. In that case then, why not just completely abandon combat and devote everything to production and construction? In this way, not only will she be able to lend Darkness Valley with strong logistical support, it would also allow her to focus on investments and to save up wealth, allowing her to reach higher limits in the future. My lord, what should we do with these prisoners? The Draconian General Wang Ar had already finished bounding up the entire Elven army, so they were already completely under the control of the Draconian army. Take them back with us and put them in the prison. There was a reason to not kill those elves. The elven race is skilled in planting, potion making, and alchemy. If he could get these elves to work for him, then it would definitely be a good thing for his territory's development. However, Zhang Nu cannot use these elves just yet. These elves had surrendered under Nancilia's order. They were not willingly submitting to Darkness Valley of their own accords, so their average loyalty is only about 10 to 20 points or so. Not only do they lack any sense of loyalty to him, it could even be said that they still consider him their enemies. Thus, there's no real other choice than to imprison them for the time being. Li Si dropped a teleportation field to allow the troops from Darkness Valley to take the prisoners back. Zhang Nu did not send the entire army back. He had left a small division of about 100 soldiers here to keep guarding the myriad Flower Valley and keep Flower Fae Demon King Chunguogwa safe. When he returned to Darkness Valley, the battle here had ended as well. Zhang Nu found Zhang San to ask for a report. At least 80% of the heroes and demon subjugation army led by Jing Xiao had fallen within Darkness Canyon, but at the last moment, Jing Xiao had managed to escape with a small squad. Zhang San's first priority was to protect the territory, so he did not pursue too far and this leader of the heroes had escaped. This made him feel rather depressed. Zhang Nu personally didn't mind this result all that much though. His gains were already more than enough, after all. One more or less really didn't matter at all. He immediately started tallying up the totals, and his proceeds are as follows. Level 1 Hero Souls, 189. Level 2 Hero Souls, 12. Skill Stones, 9. Gold, over 120k. Zhang Nu was rather dazed by the time he had finished totaling everything up. For him to have gained so much souls and a good majority of it came from Jauntry City. In other words, during the process where Zhang Nu flattened the Heroes Guild and the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild headquarters, he had wiped out well over 100 heroes who were gathered within. That's insane. The heroes were practically mowed down like grass. This would definitely be something unimaginable for any other demon king. You've sacrificed a level 1 hero soul. 3 talent points gained. You've sacrificed a level 1 hero soul. 2 talent points gained. You've sacrificed a level 1 hero soul. 3 talent points gained. You've sacrificed a level 2 hero soul. 21 talent points gained. Everything was sacrificed in a single go. He gained 731 talent points. This is a nigh unimaginable number. Since he had 74 talent points left over from before this, he now has 805 talent points in total. Zhang Nu used 100 talent points to activate the final level 2 talent. You've activated the level 2 talent Hell Thunder Flame. All level 2 talents activated. Level up conditions satisfied. Zhang Nu could feel it. After activating all the talents, every cell in his body was giving off a reaction akin to nuclear fusion, constantly giving off an enormous amount of energy. Level up successful. MP plus 800, HP plus 400, Strength plus 50, Agility plus 100, Constitution plus 50, Will plus 100. Your Dragon Flame, Dragon Fear, Thunder Flame, Devouring, Adamantine Dragon Body Effect plus 100%. The level up was completed. All stats increased greatly. Nearly all active talent skills have multiplied in effect. Zhang Nu has fully become a level 3 Demon King. His powers now can't even be compared to what it was back when he was level 2. He hurriedly checked his current status. Name, Zhang Nu. Level, 3. Race, Abyssal Dragon, Demon King Race. Base stats, 800 HP, 1600 MP, 90 Strength, 180 Agility, 90 Constitution, 180 Will. Level 1 Talents, Abyssal Draconian, Dragon Flame, Dragon Fear, Lightning Control, Beginner Anti-Magic. Level 2 Talents, Adamantine Dragon Body, Abyssal Devouring, Hell Thunder Flame, Medium Anti-Magic. Level 3 Talents, Dragon King's Sanctum, Evil Dragon's Descent, High Anti-Magic. Other skills, Healing, D rank, Blood Sacrifice, D rank, Blessing of the Gust, D rank, Earth Spike, E rank, War Trample, E rank. Talent points, 705. In summary, Zhang Nu's power has suddenly grown by leaps and bounds. He noticed that there's only 3 level 3 talents though. Every single one of them costs 1000 talent points to activate though. Zhang Nu couldn't help but flinch at that number. 1000 talent points. That number is way too much. Just how many heroes would he need to kill to accumulate that much? He had originally thought that he had a lot of talent points now, but he didn't expect that he didn't have enough to even activate a single level 3 talent. Of course, thinking about it more carefully, there's actually nothing wrong with that kind of number. A level 3 would be considered fairly strong even placed against the wider continent. As for a level 4? That would be a powerhouse capable of holding a major region all on their lonesome. If it really was possible to break through to level 4 that easily, then wouldn't a level 4 Demon King be just too cheap and common? The gate fee of 1000 talent points might seem extremely high, but in actuality, it wouldn't take all that long to accumulate if one were to hunt and kill heroes en masse. In summary, the growth speed of Demon Kings is amazingly fast. This is also one of the main reasons why Demon Kings are so widely feared. Although he wasn't able to directly activate a level 3 talent, Zhang Nu did just activate a new level 2 talent, Hell Thunder Flame. He checked out the effect of the skill. Hell Thunder Flame is basically just combining the Abyssal Dragon Flame and Abyssal Lightning and using them together. After combining those two different powers, the effect and element generated has completely changed. The Thunder Flame has long range, is extremely fast, and it also has the high burning temperature and continuous damage effect of fire. It's definitely a very powerful skill. Of course, the MP cost of using it is similarly terrifying. This technique is good for taking down enemies in a single surprise attack or to deal with powerful enemies who resist both lightning and fire damage. Actually, for a Demon King, the best part that came from this level up isn't actually the increase in personal power. It's because no Demon King could conquer the world on their own. Thus, compared to the boost in personal might, territory development and the military setup might be more important. After Zhang Nu had become a level 3 Demon King, he had unlocked new units. Draconian Craftsman. Level 3 Normal. Leveled up from High Draconian Laborers. They have extremely high crafting skills. Costs 500 gold per level up. Super Draconian Soldier. Level 3 Elite. Leveled up from High Draconian Soldiers. They have extremely strong combat ability. Costs 5,000 gold per level up. Mystic Draconian Battlemage. Level 3 Elite. Leveled up from Draconian Battlemages. Costs 8,000 gold per level up. Draconian Marshal. Level 3 Lord. A commander of armies leveled up from a Draconian General. They have even stronger combat abilities as well as leadership skills. Every 500 high soldiers or 50 super soldiers unlocks one additional martial count. Costs 50,000 gold per level up. Draconian High Priest. Level 3 Lord. A high priest leveled up from a Draconian priest. They have even stronger magical abilities. Every 20,000 Draconian population unlocks one additional high priest count. Costs 100,000 gold per level up. When Zhang Nu leveled up to level 3, he didn't unlock any completely new units. The 5 new Draconian units that he gained are all higher leveled versions of units that he already has. Every single level up is practically a complete metamorphosis, increasing the unit's strength by a great deal. Zhang Nu was quite satisfied with this. With these leveled up units, Darkness Valley's strength will rise by a whole new level. The gains this time, besides the gold and souls, also included 9 skill stones. Zhang Nu took a look at those skill stones. They were all D and E ranked skills. He picked out 2 of them to use on himself. Those 2 skills are as follows. Invisibility. D rank skill. After activating this skill, the user enters an invisible state and continues to spend MP to maintain it. The invisibility will be interrupted the moment the user attacks or is attacked. Eye of Detection. D rank skill. The user can summon an immobile magical eye that observes all targets within a certain area of effect. It has the effect of piercing traps and invisible units. Most of those skill stones are actually pretty good, but for the level 3 Zhang Nu, normal attack or defensive skills have little meaning anymore. He chose the 2 skills mainly because they are support types. Invisibility is fairly useful in certain specific situations. As for the Eye of Detection, Zhang Nu didn't need any informational type detection skills. This skill is for remote viewing, like looking through a remote camera. It allows the user to see and observe through the magical eye even without being there. Thus, it's fairly usable for him. As for the 7 remaining skill stones, there's quite a market for those, so they can be sold for money when needed. Zhang Nu is not lacking in that kind of money though, so he has no need to sell them. Thus, he decided to keep them to use as rewards for his subordinates or his spy, Su Yan. This time, the gold gains have reached an enormous 120,000 plus. His full treasury reaches over 160k gold in total. Thus, Zhang Nu decided to expand his draconian armies. He first spent nearly 10k gold to replenish his losses. Then, he spent 50k gold at once to summon 500 soldiers. Picking out 50 normal soldiers to level up to high soldiers cost another 50k gold. With this, his draconian army now total 1,300 normal soldiers, 130 high draconian soldiers, and 30 draconian battle mages. Zhang Nu still had 50k gold left, and he was quite curious and looking forward to the level 3 units. Thus he immediately leveled up 5 high soldiers and 1 battle mage. The high soldiers were leveled up into super soldiers, and those super soldiers changed a great deal in appearance compared to the normal or high soldiers. The most eye-catching part is that they grew a pair of wings. Super soldier had the ability to fly. This was quite a happy surprise for Zhang Nu. Flight capabilities are not to be underestimated. Those have a great deal of use on the battlefield. Zhang Nu immediately checked the stats of the super soldiers. Super Draconian Soldiers. Level 3 Elite Unit. 350 HP, 150 MP, 25 Strength, 22 Constitution, 28 Agility, 19 Will. Loyalty 100%, locked. Tiredness 10%. Hunger 10%. Skills, Raging Dragon Chi, C rank, Draconic Blood Awakening, D rank, Earth Drake Scales, D rank, Chi Impact, D rank, Magic Resistance, D rank, High Speed Healing, D rank, Aerial Scouting, E rank. Generally speaking, the super soldier's skills are quite similar to that of the high soldier. It's just that the skill ranks have basically all increased. For example, the high soldier's Raging Dragon Chi is D ranked, but the super soldier's Raging Dragon Chi has turned to C rank. Other than that, the super soldier also has more skills than the high soldier. The main one being some aerial combat and scouting skills. Comparing the stats, the super soldier is quite a bit stronger than the high soldier. Nearly all their stats have nearly doubled, which would definitely make a major difference in terms of combat ability. At a rough estimate, a team of 5 super soldiers together could hold off even a draconian general for a good long while. That showed just how powerful their combat capabilities are. One gets what they pay for, and the costs of the super soldier are definitely worth the cost. Zhang Nu also checked over the Mystic Battle Mage. This is the level 3 unit leveled up from the level 2 Draconian Battle Mage unit. On the surface, they looked quite similar to the Draconian Battle Mages, but if one were to take a more careful look, there are actually some major differences. Every single scale on the Mystic Draconian Battle Mages are engraved with mystical runes. A powerful magical aura emanates from their bodies, giving them an aura of danger and pressure. Mystic Draconian Battle Mage. Level 3 Elite Unit. 200 HP, 300 MP, 19 Strength, 20 Constitution, 22 Agility, 30 Will. Loyalty 100%, locked. Tiredness 10%. Hunger 10%. Skills: Wyvern transformation, C rank, Armored Battle Drake transformation, C rank, Amphibian Drake transformation, C rank, Blazing Hammer, D rank, Freezing Hammer, D rank, Whirlwind Hammer, D rank, Combined Chanting, D rank, Shield of the Mind, E rank, Chain Fireball, E rank, Earth Spike, E rank. So that's how it is. Compared to normal battle mages, the Mystic Draconian battle mages have druid-like transformation magic. They can transform into 3 different types of draconic beasts suitable for land, sea, or air. Draconic beasts aren't true dragons, they're just magical beasts that have some amount of draconic bloodline. Battle mages are a bit stronger than high soldiers to start with, so Mystic Draconian battle mages are also a bit stronger than super soldiers. To compare the two, the Mystic Draconian battle mage can perfectly fight in midair, on the ground, or underwater. The only downside to it is that they're too expensive. A Draconian battle mage costs 2,000 gold. Leveling a battle mage into a Mystic Draconian battle mage costs another 5,000 gold. This level 3 elite unit costs 7,000 gold in total to summon. It wouldn't be a small number for any Demon King at this period of time. That said, all in all, be it the Super Soldier or the Mystic Draconian battle mage, both of them are quite satisfactory in terms of strength. It can be said that this single Mystic Draconian battle mage is fully capable of single-handedly defeating the vast majority of Demon Kings at this current stage. Yet, it's merely a normal unit for Xiongnu. With this kind of power, something like the Iron-Blooded Heroes Guild is completely not worth any concern. Xiongnu likely didn't even need to worry about Jauntry City anymore. With Nancilia as his hostage, there's no way that Jauntry City would dare to do anything overt anymore. They'd have no choice but to obediently sit down for talks and accept all of Xiongnu's demands. My lord, Su Yan has returned. The Draconian priest came forth to report. Xiongnu nodded, let her in. This hero girl might be quite weak, but her usefulness is by no means small. Without Su Yan constantly passing information along, there was no way that Xiongnu could have known the enemy's plans and prepared counters ahead of time. This particular pawn is quite useful and she'll have more chances to show her value in the future. Given that, Xiongnu wouldn't want her to end up dead. The past few campaigns from the heroes made it quite obvious that there was information leakage, so there was no way that the iron-blooded heroes wouldn't have started suspecting the presence of a spy. Su Yan, who had just joined the iron-blooded heroes just recently, was very likely to become a suspect. Therefore, Su Yan had been given the orders to withdraw before the attack on Jauntry City. Xiongnu had burned the iron-blooded heroes' headquarters to ash, and in the process, killed at least dozens of iron-blooded heroes. Su Yan had used this attack to set up a scenario faking her death and she thus easily escaped. Although Su Yan did have the ability to disguise herself, so she could have switched to another identity to continue working, in the end, it was decided to call her back, just to be safe. Xiongnu had captured the city's lord, thus gaining the absolute initiative, so there wasn't much that Su Yan could have contributed even if she had continued to stay. Boss! I'm back! Su Yan entered the castle and greeted the Demon King. Xiongnu asked, what's the current situation in Jauntry City? Su Yan hurriedly replied, ever since you showed your might, the pervasive mood in Jauntry City is one of nervousness and fear. The elves are practically insane with worry. Right. When I was leaving, Du Mingfeng and Jing Xiao had just escaped back in disgrace. When they saw that the Heroes Guild and the headquarters of the iron-blooded heroes were destroyed, they practically exploded on the spot with rage. Boss, your moves were just too perfect here. The hero factions near Jauntry City have been greatly reduced and the iron-blooded Heroes Guild took even heavier losses. Their headquarters was lost with practically all hands. Su Yan was quite awed. She had known that Xiongnu was very strong for a long time now, but she never imagined that he was this strong. Him single-handedly striking into Jauntry City, heavily damaging the heroes' bases, and even kidnapped the city lord was practically a conga line of humiliation. Be it the elves of Jauntry City or the iron-blooded heroes, all of them were pretty much utterly humiliated. Su Yan once again cheered the fact that she had followed the right boss. If she had joined up with a hero boss like Du Mingfeng, then she likely would have ended up just like the heroes in the iron-blooded heroes' headquarters. Your contributions this time were considerable. Go ahead and take these skill stones. Xiongnu brought out 4 skill stones at once as he spoke. Su Yan was overjoyed. Wow, 4 of them and they're all fairly high-leveled too. You're so generous, boss. Such minor rewards matter little. Zhang Nu spoke with an annoyed tone, you're too weak. You can't even match up to one of my better soldiers. You need to get stronger as quickly as possible. Otherwise, how are you supposed to work for me properly? Su Yan hurriedly replied, yes. I'll definitely do my best. Please don't worry, boss. Zhang Nu considered the issue. Su Yan had no outstanding tasks right now, so Zhang Nu decided to grant her a small squad and have her bring them to help her hunt monsters nearby. A hero doesn't necessarily have to kill demon kings to get stronger. They can gain training points by doing various training or killing monsters too. Of course, hunting monsters for training points is much slower compared to the gains from killing demon kings. Su Yan can't beat powerful monsters on her own, but it's different if she had a squad of draconians helping her. Her gains could easily multiply tenfold that way, so it's a very effective way to increase her strength steadily. The next day, Zhang Nu got news of Jiantree City's request for talks. That was within expectations. Their own lord was kidnapped by the Demon King, so Jiantree City didn't dare to act recklessly or attack. Thus, their only choice is to attempt to save their city lord via diplomacy. As for actually releasing her? That's completely impossible. That said, this is also the chance to squeeze as much out of Jiantree City as they can though. That day, in the forest, the first elder and his group were waiting impatiently. Then, a sky drake descended from the sky and landed before them, then turned into a draconian wearing a robe and holding a staff. The first elder frowned, you're not the Demon King. We demand to speak with the Demon King. Li Si just calmly replied, for a being as great as our lord to reply to your request is already bestowing you with a great honor. Do you really think that he's someone that mere ants like you can simply demand to see whenever? You? An elven elder was enraged. Li Si just sneered coldly, what? Do you not want to talk anymore? The first elder hurriedly stopped his companion. Right now, the initiative is on the other side. However, since the Demon King was willing to send someone to talk, it means that he's not completely unreasonable. So long as communication is possible, there's still room to recover. The first elder spoke, we need to confirm our city lord's safety. Li Si tapped the air with his staff and a watery veil appeared before them. A somewhat clear image appeared within that veil. At that moment, the elven city lord had manacles on her arms and legs, currently locked within the dark and cold prison. When the elders saw that, they had a hard time keeping control over the anger in their hearts. The city lord's a descendant of the great and noble elf king. How could they have treated her so brutishly? This is an insult to the elven race. The first elder's own expression was dark. He clenched his fists and forcefully pushed down his rage as he coldly spoke, speak. Just what do you want in order to return our city lord? Li Si spoke with utter calm, my lord has little interest beyond Jiantree City's loyalty and submission. The elves practically exploded upon hearing that. That's impossible. To want the entirety of Jiantree City? That's completely impossible. Don't even think about it. The first elder had a hard time holding back the killing intent in his eyes at that moment as well. Humph, your master's got quite the appetite. There's no way we can possibly agree to that. Li Si just calmly replied, is that so? The first elder spoke, so long as the city remains, there will be plenty more city lords to come. But if even Jiantree City is gone, then what's the point of getting back a city lord? Don't you think that kind of demand is laughable? Li Si started laughing, there's no need for you to pretend ignorance now. My lord has long since seen through it all. That elf's importance to you isn't so simple as simply being the city lord, right? At those words, everyone there, including the first elder, visibly reacted. The first elder hurriedly schooled his expression, I have no idea what you're talking about. Li Si spoke bluntly, that elf had awoken the elven king bloodline. She is the only elf king descendant in the entire Chaos Forest, as well as being the only hope for your elven race's revitalization. Am I right? With that, the first elder turned completely pale. His body shook, nearly unable to hold himself upright. This secret is something only known by the innermost circle of the elves. All the elves who knew of it had signed a contract to keep the secret, so there shouldn't have been any possible way for that secret to have leaked. But, why then does the Demon King know of this? Given such an important figure to the revival of the entire race, yet my lord is only demanding a single mere Jiantree City. Is that really that high a demand? Li Si paused before continuing. I rather think my lord is being far too merciful here. It's over. It's all completely over. The elders' hearts fell. This talk will definitely be extremely difficult. The other side knows their greatest trump card, their biggest secret. Now, they're making an outrageous demand, directly asking for the entire Jauntry City. How the heck are they supposed to negotiate now? The first elder had a terrible expression on his face. No matter what, giving up Jauntry City is completely impossible. Having us kneel to a demon king is also utterly impossible. How could they hand Jauntry City over to a demon king? Ever since the elves left Jauntry Forest, they've been living in this city for the past 300 years. How are the elves supposed to live without Jauntry City? And as for having the elves of Jauntry City pledge their loyalty to the demon king? Elves are a prideful race. Other than the natural-born elf king, there's no way they could possibly swear loyalty to anyone else, never mind a demon king from who knows where. The draconian priest sneered, very well then. Since we cannot reach an agreement, there's no point in talking anymore. With that, he transformed into a sky drake and moved to leave. The elven elders here never imagined that the messenger of the demon king would act so uncompromisingly, willing to cease all talks at the slightest disagreement. Wait! Just a moment. The first elder called the draconian priest to stop. Lisi leaned his head down. What more do you want to say? The first elder knew that he was in a tough spot. They lacked preparation this time, so they were unable to get the talks to continue. Thus, they had to carefully research and prepare more and try again later. Royalty must not be shamed. A future queen should not be locked up in a dungeon like that. We request that the demon king release Our Lady, the city lord, from the prison cell. The draconian priest burst out in a laugh. She's just a mere prisoner. What dignity of a queen is there to speak of? What say do you have in how our lord wishes to deal with or even play with her? The elven elders looked like they were about to spit fire from their eyes at that. The first elder spoke. This is something that we cannot accept no matter what. If the demon king were to continue this treatment, then Jauntry City would have no choice but to go to war for the sake of the dignity of the elven race. From the looks of those elves' expressions, they may actually be serious about this. They'd throw away their lives for something as minor as this? Elves really are a race with a high degree of pride. If the elven king were to be slighted, or worse, humiliated, then for the elves, it's unquestionably a major incident. The draconian priest spoke. Very well then, if you want us to improve our treatment of our prisoner, then that's not impossible. However, you need to first show a proper sign of your sincerity. For example, paying a fee for the improvement in treatment. How much do you want? 5 million gold. In this world, gold is a universal currency. No matter where you go, no matter which country you're in, gold would always be accepted as a valid currency. Players can convert any raw gold they get into the game gold. Back when Zhang Nu took the village ruins in the Darkness Valley, he had gained some gold from the treasure chest left behind by the village chief, which he had converted into usable game gold. Of course, the gold on the continent isn't necessarily one-to-one equivalent with the game currency. The 5 million gold that the draconian demanded, converted to the game gold, would only be worth around 500k or so. Even then, that's still an enormous amount of money. The elves looked at one another. This minion of the demon king really is far too much a bully. Although Jauntry City is extremely wealthy, 5 million gold is still not a small number. Even with the full power of Jauntry City, it would still be quite difficult. If the 5 million gold was the ransom cost, then the elves wouldn't have anything to say. However, the problem is that this price is only to improve Nancilia's living conditions. This is clear and outright extortion. The first elder spoke. We don't have that much gold. At most, we can give you 1 million gold. The draconian priest just taunted. You just said that royalty must not be shamed. Yet, for the dignity of the elf queen to be worth only 1 million gold. That really is far too cheap no matter how you look at it. The first elder was so mad that he was nearly coughing up blood. Just what does the demon king even need all that gold for? Oh right, he's a dragon. Dragons are naturally predisposed toward collecting gold and gems. The elves solemnly discussed the matter among themselves. One of the elders spoke. We don't actually have that much gold, but we can substitute part of the cost with elven jewelry. The total value would definitely not be any less. The draconian priest refused. No. My lord only wants gold. Several of the elven elders started having thoughts of contempt. HMPTH, this dragon demon king really doesn't have any taste. For him to not understand the true worth of jewelry and arts and instead just like sleeping on top of gold like those money-grubbing dragons of low character. That's way too barbaric. In the end, the first elder grinded his teeth while saying, Fine, 5 million gold. We'll give it to you, but right now, we only have 2 million to give right away. We'll need a bit of time to assemble the remaining 3 million. Li Si considered it for a moment. Although Jiantree City is prosperous, in the end, it's not a real trade city. It would indeed be very difficult for them to pull 5 million out right away. Very well then. You must pay in full within 10 days though. Otherwise, I won't be able to guarantee whether or not your city lord will be able to continue enjoying any good accommodations. This first discussion thus ended like so. The elves could be said to not have gotten the slightest advantage. Instead, they were even extorted a huge amount of money by the Demon King's subordinate. Money isn't even the biggest issue here. The Demon King had already realized the full importance of the city lord to the elven race. Given that, how could he possibly let her go? It'd be strange if he didn't completely drain Jiantree City dry to the very marrow. The elven leadership were extremely angry, but what else could they do? They could only obediently pay the gold to placate the Demon King first and guarantee their city lord's safety. When Du Mingfeng learned that the elven leadership was actually planning on giving gold to the Demon King, he was naturally beside himself with rage. To not attack the demon and instead invest in him like mad? Do those elven leaders have shit in their rotten heads? Du Mingfeng immediately went up to the elf First Elder. First Elder, your actions won't help at all. Instead, it would just make the Demon King even more arrogant. The First Elder shot him an unkindly look back. You've already been fired. You have no right to raise any objections at me. Leave. When it comes to the major crisis that has befallen Jiantree City this time, Du Mingfeng is unquestionably responsible for a great deal of it. The First Elder had already removed him from his position as a guardian elf. Currently, Du Mingfeng is merely a normal elf, so he naturally lacked the right to judge the First Elder. Du Mingfeng forced down his anger and spoke, First Elder, trying to talk to a Demon King or appeasing him is the most idiotic action. The First Elder got mad too. What other choice did they have here? Speaking of, it's all this guy's fault. Why else would Jiantree City be in such a state? Why else would the city lord have been kidnapped? Du Mingfeng gave a suggestion. Why don't we instead hire a team of top-quality heroes from some other city, have them infiltrate Darkness Valley and secretly rescue the city lord? The First Elder hesitated. Secretly rescue her? Is that really doable? Du Mingfeng spoke. There are many powerhouses hidden among the heroes. So long as Jiantree City is willing to pay, there would definitely be those who would be willing to take the quest. I'm contacting some top-class powerhouses from afar as we speak. That is indeed a possibility. The First Elder muttered to himself. That said, we absolutely cannot allow the Demon King to know that this team of heroes has anything to do with Jiantree City. Otherwise, we would only be in a worse position. Du Mingfeng volunteered. Leave this to me. Whether it succeeds or fails, I'll make sure that it's done completely secretly and that it wouldn't betray any connection to Jiantree City no matter what. Very well. I'll give you another chance. The First Elder grit his teeth. If you really do manage to find someone and rescue the city lord, then I'll restore your previous position and even raise you to the position of deputy city lord. Don't worry. A cold light flashed through Du Mingfeng's eyes. He spoke adamantly. I won't allow any mistake this time. Darkness Valley. Zhang Nu was working on some city planning. This city will be named Darkness City. As the Demon King's capital city, it needs to be built big enough, advanced enough, and also needs enough room for expansion and further developments. City building is a major enterprise. Although Zhang Nu used over 2,000 draconian laborers, each of whom was able to do the work equivalent of 10 human workers, their progress speed was still not quite satisfactory for him. To resolve this issue, he'll need to either increase the number of laborers or increase their quality. The former can be done by summoning basic laborers of minotaurs en masse, but the latter needs him to level up the laborers to high laborers or craftsmen. The problem, however, is that all of that costs money. Due to the issue of Chenguogua being affected by the aftermath of the battles, her seed production speed wasn't quite keeping up. The goblin farms have been greatly expanded, but their production hasn't increased by that much yet. Thankfully, everything's managed to return to normal now and Chenguogua is now devoting her full effort into production and support, so this issue should be solved in just a few more days. Only, the profits from farming will still need to take about a week of time. There's no way to instantly explosively increase the territory's income. Just as Zhang Nu was contemplating how to get more money, Jiantree City came just in the nick of time and delivered a huge amount of gold right to his doorsteps. They delivered it this quickly? That's just great. The elves directly delivered 20 huge chests of gold to Darkness Valley. This is the 5 million gold that they gained via diplomacy, extortion. Tree City obviously couldn't bring out that much money at once, so they only delivered the agreed upon 2 million gold here. As for the rest, that will be delivered within the next 10 days. Open it up. Several draconians opened up the chests and piles of shiny continental gold coins appeared before their eyes. Other than the gold coins commonly used as currency on the continent, there are also a great deal of unminted gold bars and gold bricks too. There's a lot of them too, and the golden shine from them was enough to make one dizzy. Those elves really are rich. Zhang Nu reached out and grabbed a handful, letting a shower of gold coins rain down from between his fingers, creating a clear ringing of metallic clangs. It sounded so very soothing to his ears, placing him in a great mood. At the same time, the game's notification rang out. Notice, detected convertible gold. Would you like to convert it into game gold? Y/N. It's not like Zhang Nu really is a gold-hoarding dragon. Although he does quite like the joy that comes from having gold and treasures, it's not to the point where he'd hoard it while sleeping on top of it all day. Convert it all. Conversion complete. Gained gold X 202550. Over 200k gold. That felt way too good. By weight, this haul of gold would be worth about 2 million gold in continental coins. Zhang Nu could basically confirm now that the ratio between continental gold coins to game coins is 10-1. Does extortion for gold really work this fast? That's just great. No wonder why evil demon kings in stories always like kidnapping so much. Even Zhang Nu is tempted to use this as a long-term business model now. Just kidnap city lords and village chiefs and force their subordinates to give up money for ransom. It's foolproof and profitable, who wouldn't love it? Of course, 2 million gold is no small number. Only a forest city with centuries of development like Tree City could have been able to produce that much in over a single night. If it was the native tribes of the forest, then never mind 2 million gold, they might not even be able to pull out 20k gold or perhaps even 2k gold. Gold is a relatively valuable material and resource in this world, and not only is gold coins universally recognized everywhere on the continent, its buying power tends to be extremely stable as well. Well, every little bit counts. It's not like kidnapping people for ransom is the only method. Zhang Nu had plans to expand his faction anyway, so why not gather up all the nearby native tribes and villages and make them pay taxes and protection money? Even grains of sand can make a big pile if there's enough, so long as his territory is big enough, this would end up being no small number. Besides that, the forest is definitely rich with all kinds of various resources. Zhang Nu could easily use his cheat to find a few gold veins and invest in high-quality labor like minotaurs to start mining it. Wouldn't that also be a good source of stable income? As for right now, he has wealth to spare. Zhang Nu directly summoned up 1,000 laborers before then leveling up 500 into high laborers. Then he selected 100 of those to level up into level 3 draconian craftsmen. In total, he spent 80k gold. His total draconian unit count has thus finally broken through to 5,260 units. He has 2,500 draconian laborers, 1,200 high laborers, 100 draconian craftsmen, 1,300 normal soldiers, 125 high soldiers, 5 super soldiers, 29 draconian battle mages, and 1 mystic draconian battle mage. Of them, the production units doing labor, production, construction, and other work number at 3,800. This is an extremely potent backline support force. It will be more than enough to guarantee the operation of his territory. Draconian Craftsman. Level 3 normal unit. 50 HP, 50 MP, 10 strength, 10 constitution, 5 agility, 5 will. Harvesting LV5, construction LV5, crafting LV5. Those are the stats of the new Draconian Craftsman unit. As expected of a level 3 production unit, its various production skills are all level 5. It has the capability to create high-quality tools and equipment. Its production capability is basically at the professional level. This is far stronger than the laborers. Zhang Nu wants his city to be built with advanced transportation setups and structural designs. In addition, he also wants to update his troops' equipment. For that, the Draconian Craftsmen are vital. They will bring about a great change to his territory. Zhang Nu sent those craftsmen off to their assigned work. Then, he suddenly thought of something: since I did accept the money, I should properly do the work. Go and bring Lady Nancilia out of her cell. After the young city lord had been taken to the Demon King nest, she was imprisoned in the dark prison along with all the other elves. Since Jantri City was willing to spend so much money to parole her, Zhang Nu wasn't someone who goes back on his words either. Thus, he let her out of the prison right away. Of course, the sealing bracelet was still locked on her wrist. Although this item may not be able to seal her full strength, so long as she has it on, she wouldn't even be able to beat a super soldier. Thus, there was no way that she could possibly escape from the Darkness Valley. Of course, Zhang Nu didn't dare to act overconfident either. In order to make sure this meal ticket of his remained absolutely safe, he very generously offered Nancilia new accommodations inside the castle. She wasn't allowed to leave without Zhang Nu's permission. Even when she is allowed to leave the castle to get some air, she still needs to have 5 super soldiers guarding her at all times. Nancilia didn't know why this change happened, but after she was released from the prison, she finally had the chance to properly observe the Demon King's territory. Nancilia was extremely curious about this Demon King's territory. She was originally under the assumption that a Demon King's territory must be full of vicious demons and under a dark and gloomy atmosphere. What she never expected was that Darkness Valley was far from some den of demons. Over 10,000 draconians, skeletons, minotaurs, and even goblins were all living alongside each other without conflict, building, mining, crafting, farming, and transporting goods. The entire territory was extremely prosperous and industrious. Figures enthusiastically at work were everywhere. Not only did Nancilia not feel any evil from this place, she even noticed that this place is very orderly, to the point where it's far better than the vast majority of cities in the forest. She was impressed despite herself when it comes to this Demon King's ability as a ruler. That night, Zhang Nu was having dinner in the castle. Nancilia was also treated as an honored guest now. By now, she is even allowed to sit at the same dinner table as the great Demon King. Even so, she couldn't muster up the slightest amount of appetite toward the table full of food. She puffed up her cheeks and glared, "Demon King, just how long are you going to imprison us for?" Zhang Nu spoke, "There's no need to be impatient now. I'll release you and let you continue to be the city lord when Jantri City agrees to submit to me." "There's no way that'll happen." Nancilia was super mad. That guy is an evil Demon King after all. Nancilia grit her teeth, "Then release my people first. There's no point in keeping them after all, and it's even costing you food every day to feed them, right?" Zhang Nu refused, "No. As a portion of my war spoils, prisoners of war are valuable. Worst comes to worst, they can still be ransomed for gold." "Damn you. Are you still unwilling to accept this?" Nancilia made a face at him, "Humph, of course. It's not like you properly beat me after all. I won't accept this result unless you fight me again and beat me fair and square." Zhang Nu laughed. Even now, this girl still thinks her loss is an accident. The reason why the Demon King beat her back then is all because she wasn't able to use her true power, and then she accidentally took a sneak attack, that's all. If they were to fight it out again, she's completely confident that she'll be able to win. Zhang Nu had no intention of arguing with a little girl though. He just refused adamantly, "Enough, a prisoner has no right to negotiate terms here. You should just stay here obediently. Don't even think about trying anything under my eyes. Otherwise, there won't be any guarantee that I won't do something excessive." Nancilia turned her head away in a huff. She has faith that she won't be staying here for too long. There's no way that the elves will ignore the plight of their fellow elves. The First Elder will definitely send people to save her. This Demon King will regret not having killed her in a few days. A few days later, the First Elder was completely covered up, with a huge hood covering his head, walking down the street like a suspicious thief. He would stop every couple of steps like he was afraid of being discovered. In the end, he turned into a small unremarkable house. Inside, several men had already been waiting for some time. The First Elder lowered his hood. "Is it really necessary to be so cautious and secretive?" Du Mingfeng explained, "It absolutely is necessary. I suspect that there's a spy in Jantri City, that the Demon King had set eyes within the city around us." The Elven First Elder's eyes twitched. "Any evidence of that?" "There's no direct evidence, but the Demon King had been prepared for every operation we had recently. There's no way that's just a coincidence." That's logical. In times, caution is absolutely required. Besides, the current operation has to be kept absolutely secret. No one can be allowed to learn of it. There are 4 others present. The First Elder spoke suspiciously. "Are these the foreign heroes you found specifically? Are just these few people really able to complete this task?" "Of those 4 here, 2 were orcs, 1 was a wingkin, and the last one was a troll. The one at the head was an orc warrior. He had a crimson greatsword on his back and his skill was covered in red patterns. He gave off a fierce aura. He grinned, less people is better in this situation. We're professionals. The four of them are all level 3 pseudo-lords. The orc leading them is by no means weaker than Du Mingfeng. The other 3 heroes with him definitely aren't much weaker than him either. Heroes with such strength would definitely be top-class powerhouses for the current period of the game apart from those extremely rare individuals who lucked out in winning the lottery. They're different from Du Mingfeng, who directly gained a powerful body from the start. The 4 of them were only around level 2 at the start. They got to their current state one step at a time by killing demon kings. Du Mingfeng started introducing them. Wang Gang, Orc Fire God Warrior. He gained the blessing of the God of Fire, which gives him extremely high fire resistance, strong enough to even resist dragon fire. In total, he has hunted and killed 18 demon kings, and for 12 of them, he had assassinated them all by himself. Li Dingnan, Orc Shaman. Not only is he skilled in both fire and wind magic, he also has a powerful talent skill and control type skills. In total, he has killed 14 demon kings. Ji Ning, Wingkin Shadow Assassin. He's skilled in assassination and his speed is unmatched. He's also skilled in high-leveled stealth skills, which allowed him to single-handedly kill 9 demon kings. Peng Sihai, Troll Alchemist. He's skilled in alchemy and specializes in poisons. He has in several cases poisoned an entire demon king's nest to death, and those demon kings died without even knowing what happened. They're all top-class heroes from Berserk Beast City. They're pretty much the strongest solo heroes within 1,000 kilometers. They do sound pretty good, but when he heard the words Berserk Beast City, the first elder couldn't help but be on his guard. Berserk Beast City is around 500 to 600 kilometers from Jontree City. It's a city mainly habited by orcs. Their population and military force are both a good deal higher than that of Jontree. Berserk Beast City rose only a few decades ago. Their savagery and violent nature made them have poor relations with Jontree City. There had been many conflicts between the two sides, so it was only natural that he would get suspicious. Du Mingfeng spoke, "There's no need to worry, First Elder. Solo heroes tend to keep to themselves. They have no real relations with the authorities of Berserk Beast City. From the start, there were 2 types of heroes. Heroes that go solo and heroes who work in groups. Du Mingfeng is one who went the group route. These kinds of heroes will either join or form their own organizations, build and organize their own territory, and then expand their holdings and their forces to eventually build a demon subjugation army. Then, they'll wage large-scale wars against demon kings and subjugate them with numbers. Of course, aside from those who work in groups, solo heroes aren't particularly rare either. These kinds of heroes would generally move about all on their own. They won't build their own factions. Instead, they place extreme focus on improving their personal might. This naturally requires a high demand on the hero's personal strength and quality. Solo heroes won't form armies to take down demon kings. Instead, they'd form demon hunting parties made of a few individuals working together. Sometimes, they'd even take actions just by themselves. With less people involved, they're able to move more quickly and freely, so they would avoid clashing directly with the Demon King's army and instead directly infiltrate the nest, lock onto the Demon King, and then kill the Demon King as quickly as possible. So long as the Demon King dies, all the troops that they summoned would also disappear. Since there's no army involved, the single hero or small party of heroes would be able to monopolize all the rewards. This allows solo heroes to grow extremely quickly, thus creating a positive feedback loop. As the saying goes, an obvious threat is easy to deal with, but a hidden one is far deadlier. For Demon Kings, top-class solo heroes are the more dangerous ones. Those 4 are the best, the strongest, and most experienced solo heroes around this area. Du Mingfeng saw that the first elder was still not fully convinced, so he continued his explanation. Solo-type heroes require a high degree of skills and combat capabilities. Each and every single one of them is a 1 in 10,000 powerhouse. I picked these 4 among hundreds of solo heroes. They're the very best among the best, so they're more than capable of completing our quest. After hearing that, the first elder finally nodded. They do sound quite capable. Although the first elder is still unable to completely trust them at this point, it's also true that there are no better options available. I am extremely grateful that you would come help Jontree City in its time of need. This quest is extremely difficult, but so long as you can complete it, we will agree to whatever price you want. The orc Wangang calmly spoke, Guildmaster Du had already explained it to us. Isn't it just the Demon King of Darkness Valley? We can just team up and kill him. The first elder was greatly alarmed by that. He immediately corrected, no, it's not to kill the Demon King, it's to rescue her ladyship. As for that Demon King, if you can keep him from being alerted, then it would be best to not fight him. The four heroes exchanged a glance. They didn't seem to pay that much attention. They're the most famed and most powerful solo heroes. Any one of them would be able to hold down a major territory on their own. Now that the four of them are working together, how could they possibly lose to a single Demon King? Perhaps this Demon King's army might be especially strong, but for their kind of heroes, the size and power of a Demon King's army doesn't matter much. What solo heroes seek is to grasp the single opportunity to kill the Demon King in a flash. If the Demon King is dead, then it doesn't matter how powerful the army is. Plus, the more powerful the Demon King and the bigger their army is, the richer the reward would be. I need to emphasize this again. The first elder was afraid that those heroes lacked understanding. The quest you're undertaking is only to rescue her ladyship, the city lord. Don't do anything unnecessary. The heroes could only nod at that. Don't worry. We're confident in our success. We'll definitely complete this quest. The first elder nodded. There's also one other thing that you have to remember. You must not expose your relationship with Jontree City no matter what. Understood. We do have the professionalism for that. Wangang spread his hands. We're solo heroes specializing in assassinating demon kings. We've never been to Jontree City, and we don't really know much about the elves of Jontree City either. Nor have we ever met the first elder. Is that about right? That old bastard really doesn't have any guts. Is he that afraid of the Demon King's revenge? The four heroes mentally looked down on the first elder. Thus, the first elder signed a contract sealing the deal. This way, the first elder can finally relax and send the four of them to infiltrate Darkness Valley. If they could rescue the city lord, then that's of course the best case scenario. If they were to fail the quest, then Jontree City would also be able to deny all involvement. Isn't it only natural for heroes to try to assassinate a demon king? What reason would the Demon King have to suspect Jontree City? Du Mingfeng spoke, if there's no more issues, then I'll be taking them out of the city now. First Elder, can we borrow the detection crystal? The First Elder took out a crystal. This is a mind detection crystal. It can detect the MP, mental power, of the city lord. You'll be able to find her ladyship by following the direction it's guiding you toward. The four heroes were overjoyed. With this, things are now so much easier. The First Elder spoke, it's best not to delay. Get started as soon as possible. You must bring her ladyship back safely. Half an hour later, the four heroes were stealthily taken out of the city. The five of them stopped after making sure that they weren't followed. Du Mingfeng asked coldly, what's the word from Berserk Beast City about my proposal for cooperation? Wang Gang grinned, our city lord is quite interested. He's willing to support you and help you take the seat of the city lord. Good. Du Mingfeng's eyes flashed, in that case then, I don't think I need to tell you just what you need to do for this quest, right? We know. When we find the young city lord, we'll kill her. Du Mingfeng nodded, so long as that useless city lord is dead, not only would the elves hate Darkness Valley, I'll also have no more threat to my position as city lord. After all, back at the Myriad Flower Valley, Du Mingfeng had nearly butchered that entire elven army with hellfire. It's one thing if the city lord never returns, but if she does return and reveal this matter, Du Mingfeng would no longer be able to stay within Jontree City anymore. Besides that, so long as the Elf King's descendant still remains, her status among the elves will be extremely hard to budge. In that case, just how is he supposed to control Jontree City and the elven race? The young city lord must die. Du Mingfeng used the First Elder. He actually just wanted to kill with a borrowed knife. Alright, that's enough talking. It's about time we got started. Just wait for our good news. The four top-class solo heroes departed. Du Mingfeng took a deep breath. At this point, everything is still within his control. Given those four's powers, while hostage rescue might be uncertain to succeed, they should be more than capable of killing the hostage. The First Elder couldn't possibly imagine that his attempt at rescuing the city lord would instead end up sending four assassins after her. Those four are not to be underestimated working together, and now they even got support from Jontree City. The future elf queen is truly in extreme peril. The next day, Darkness Valley. The four solo heroes infiltrated in. They didn't try to break through the heavily guarded Darkness Canyon. Instead, they traversed the perilous mountains to get into the valley. Hee hee. The geography was dangerous indeed. However, it wasn't enough to stop us. The orc shaman let out a breath of relief. They have finally managed to get in, which was not an easy task. The Winkin assassin Jining spoke. Actually, there's no need for you guys to come as well. It's just killing a sealed elf after all. If I was acting on my own, then this quest would have already been completed some time ago. Ha! After spending so much effort to get in, are we seriously just here to kill that elf? The troll alchemist Peng Sihai turned to look toward a certain direction. Wang Gang, what do you think? This fire god orc is the strongest one among them. Wang Gang pulled up his fire-red greatsword and spoke. The demon king of Darkness Valley is a dragon. Have any of you killed a demon king like this before? The other three smiled knowingly. Like hell. Never mind killing one, we haven't even ever seen one before. The elven first elder had emphasized over and over that they're only to rescue the elven city lord, and to not provoke the demon king. The heroes completely ignored those words. They didn't even have any consideration toward the elf first elder. Can a hero who doesn't kill demon kings even be called a hero anymore? How much rewards would a dragon demon king yield? If they could kill him, then even if they can't shoot to the top in one go, their powers will at least explosively increase. It would be worth more than killing 20 normal mob demon kings combined. If they're lucky enough and, after killing the demon king, they manage to get one or more of the dragon demon king's talents, then they could basically take flight on the spot. Can any hero resist such temptations? Wang Gang spoke up. Based on the information that I have, this dragon demon king is indeed very strong. He's even capable of taking on a level 3 lord in single combat. If we were acting along, then it would indeed be necessary to be careful and properly gauge things first, but right now, the four of us are working together. That's more than enough to take him on. Li Dingnan spoke. I agree. At this current progress, there's no way there could be any demon king that can take on the four of us working together. Rather than just more than enough, it might be more accurate to call it a cakewalk. This is the heavens handing us a magnificent gift. Refusing such a gift is practically a sin. We're definitely killing this demon king. I agree as well. What's the point of coming all this way if we're not killing the demon king? Wang Gang's blessing of the fire god greatly increases his fire elemental attack and gives him unbelievably powerful fire resistance. That's perfect to counter a dragon. Since everyone is in agreement, then it's decided. We'll locate the target first. The four of them have reached an agreement. Jining swept his gaze at the scene before them. The valley is full of magical fog, so the demon king probably has a tower of fog. This will cause us quite a bit of problems. The magical fog only works against outsiders, so it would greatly increase the dangers to the hero's operation. The troll alchemist Peng Sihai brought out a potion. Have no worries. This is a potion of true seeing. So long as you paint some on yourselves, you can temporarily prevent the fog from affecting you. The four of them applied the potion, and a great deal of fog had indeed vanished from their sight. Potions of true seeing are relatively expensive, so I didn't prepare that much. Therefore, we need to hurry up, so as to not fall under the effect of the magical fog again. After saying so, he brought out two different potions. One is a stealth potion. This potion can cover up the user's scent, heat, sounds, and even signs of light, making it so that the Demon King's minions will have far harder time detecting the user. The other is an invisibility potion. After drinking it, the user will be completely invisible for a certain period of time, completely shielding them from sight. The four of them first used the stealth option and quickly did some scouting of the nearby area. Thus, they discovered a prosperous place. It's none other than the Demon King's farm. Only, its size is extremely exaggerated. Thousands of goblins were wearing straw hats while working in the farm on bare feet. A great number of Minotaur priests and other Minotaurs were assisting them, and also present was a division of several hundred Draconian soldiers standing guard. A new village was located near the farm. That village is full of neat wooden houses. Old goblins and goblin children lived within without worries. The heroes determined based on their experiences that those goblins aren't summoned units, rather they're native units who surrendered and were made vassals. They've never seen a demon king who dared to accept so many vassal units, never mind keeping them all in the center of their power. That's just far too risky. Beside the issue of the loyalty value, the biggest problem is that this makes it easy for a hero to sneak in. That's why, for the vast majority of demon kings, whenever they conquer a village or tribe, their most common action would be to just purge and slaughter all the natives. Not only does this remove all risk, it also gains them gold as well. Not here. Wang Gang's detection crystal showed no responses, meaning that the Elf City Lord isn't being held here. The Elf City Lord is an extremely important hostage, so there's no way that the Demon King would just toss them wherever and forget about them. He would definitely instead situate her in the center of his power. The orc shaman Li Dingnan couldn't resist muttering though, so many vassal units and hundreds of elite warriors, yet this still isn't the core of his territory. Just how many subordinates does this Demon King have? The vast majority of Demon Kings that they've dealt with in the past were merely level 1 mob Demon Kings. The Goblin Village and Goblin Farm is just the Darkness Valley's production area, but it's already enough to utterly crush the entire territories of those Demon Kings. The heroes just got more excited though. The reward from killing a Demon King depends on both the personal power of the Demon King as well as the size of their territory and the number of their subordinates. The bigger the territory, the more rewards that will be generated. This is an extremely rich opportunity for them. After finally arriving at the central area of the Darkness Valley, the 4 heroes were utterly stunned. The Darkness City is already over half complete, with thousands of draconians, minotaurs and skeleton soldiers swarming everywhere. It was an awe-inspiring scene. That's way too much. Although they did their best to estimate upwards, the territory was still far beyond what they had imagined. The Demon King's directly summoned units and his vassal units have probably already broken through 10,000 in total. This is something completely unprecedented. The 4 heroes realized. The Demon Kings that the 4 of them have killed before might not be able to compare against this Demon King even if they were all put together. This Demon King's forces are rather beyond what common sense should dictate. Found it. She's inside the Demon King castle. This provoked a slight reaction from the other 3 heroes. Only now did they finally notice the existence of the Demon King castle. The Demon King castle is the Demon King's home base. Heroes will be weakened after entering the castle, whereas the Demon King's strength will increase while within the castle. It would thus greatly increase the challenge difficulty. That said, after coming all this way, just who could bear to just give up now? There's no more chances if they miss this opportunity. There's no way that they'll be able to find a second Demon King like this one. Humph, so what if there's a castle? There's no way that the Demon King could stop them. Let's go. They drank the invisibility potions and directly headed to the castle. The orc shaman casted a spell, mind control. The Demon King castle's guards are high soldiers. Although they're level 2 elites, when taken by surprise, there's obviously no way that they'd be able to resist a level 3 pseudo-lord's mental attack. Thus, their eyes turned dull. Open the gate. The 4 heroes stepped into the castle. They could clearly feel that the moment they entered, their powers were immediately suppressed. Everything went smoothly. What's the next step? Do we directly search out the Demon King, or should we instead follow the guide to find the Elf City Lord? Wang Gang replied, get the Elf City Lord first. She's a very important piece for the Demon King. If we can find her and take her hostage, then the Demon King would hold back. After all, the Elf City Lord is useful for him, so he wouldn't want to just randomly kill her. When the other 3 heard that, they felt this strategy was brilliant. Ha ha ha. A reverse kidnapping and hostage situation. As expected of you, Wang Gang. Your moves are just too much. Use the Demon King's hostage to instead threaten the Demon King. Nice one, I like it. The 4 heroes moved invisibly and, through use of potions or mental hypnosis, managed to successfully pass through one checkpoint after another. In the end, they finally arrived before a certain room. The Elf City Lord is inside that room. They exchanged a glance. Everything went smoothly so far, so they immediately pushed the door open. However, at that moment, a magical eyeball suddenly opened up from the wall right behind them. The hero's idea was indeed pretty good. The young city lord is indeed a very important hostage for the Demon King. Not only can she be used to extort Jauntry City now, in the future, she can also be used to control Jauntry City or even the entire elven race. Thus, how could Zhang Nu not pay a great deal of attention to such an important hostage? Zhang Nu had placed a high number of eyes of detection nearby to monitor the area. It's one thing if those heroes had shown up anywhere else, but the moment they showed up near where Nancilia is, the Demon King would notice for certain. At this moment, in the Demon King's throne room, Zhang Nu is currently sitting on the altar. He clearly saw the 4 heroes sneaking about. Be it the Darkness Valley or the Demon King Castle, both are well guarded and patrolled. The fact that those heroes were able to get in means that they really are no ordinary individuals. Since the eyes of detection are a kind of indirect observation, Zhang Nu was unable to see their appraisal information. That said, given the evidence, he estimated them to at least be around the strength of a level 3. This is around the same level as the guild master of the iron-blooded heroes, Du Mingfeng. Plus, they're extremely experienced in dealing with demon kings. Otherwise, there's no way that they'd have been able to infiltrate this far. It looks like I really am going to have to increase security. Otherwise, getting mice sneaking in every couple of days will end up being quite a headache. As for how to deal with the 4 of them here? Zhang Nu stood up from his Demon King altar, and a powerful aura immediately enveloped the entire room, making the Draconian generals, Draconian priest, and Draconian soldiers all unconsciously kneel down and avert their eyes. High-quality souls, delivered right to my door. Since you're being so generous, I'll go ahead and receive it with a smile. Heroes of that level would definitely not be some nameless mobs. Their abilities will definitely be quite abundant, which made Zhang Nu feel a sense of expectation. He had just leveled up to level 3, so it's only natural that he'd want to try it out and see just how strong he really is.